Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another edition here, another month, I should say, of the LiuLi Cup number 36. I'm, of course, SHIN VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all, to something a little bit different here. The LiuLi Cup, of course, we have been covering month to month, of course, especially when it comes to the previous couple of months of LiuLi, but we weren't able to cover this event live. We spoke about it before, but right now we're like overbooked. We're casting so much StarCraft every single day, and we're getting there are other events that we can cast, but we can't because they're overlapping, right? Like there's just too much. There's just too much StarCraft happening at once. So unfortunately, we weren't able to cast this live. This happened a week or so ago. We weren't able to cast this live, but now we're here to cover this via replays to catch up on events that otherwise already took place. Also, on top of that, there was never an English cast. There was no English cast for this event, so again, that's why we're jumping in. At the time, we were covering, again, another tournament, more StarCraft, so here, we're catching up. We're catching up with your first English broadcast of LiuLi Cup 36. Let's go. Let's go, Papi. Let's go. Now, for those who are curious, what is LiuLi Cup? LiuLi Cup is an event organized by LiuLi, by Saber. He's a Chinese caster, a Chinese content creator, and again, did cover this event live in his native language. We're here to bring it to you for the first time in English, and we can switch our teams over and catch up on the bracket itself. It is an 8-player invitational. LiuLi Cup, they do host on a regular basis, big invitationals, and we have our lineup here ready for you. From the top, Bunny versus Trigger, SHIN versus Zoun, Creator versus GuMiho, and Cure versus ByuN. Oh boy, that's going to be 4 Terrans, 3 Protoss, and 1 Lone Zerg. I'm hoping that SHIN can have a deep run here so we can have a little bit of diversity in the LiuLi Cup, but honestly the lineups here are pretty stacked, and it's going to be an intense tournament. It's going to be an intense tournament here. Now, this is going to be day 1 of the broadcast. We're going to be covering day 2 tomorrow. The reasoning for this is because we're casting every single match, and because the semifinals are best of 5s and the grand finals are a best of 7. So today we're going to be covering all of the best of 3s, so 4 best of 3s here tonight. Tomorrow the best of 5s and the best of 7 thereafter to crown our LiuLi Cup champion. Oh, let's go, Papi, let's go. Yeah. I was currently casting about 26 hours a day. True, Papi, true. Aye. Not like this, Papi, not like this. As always, this is our first broadcast of the night. Later on tonight, we're going to be casting the Rex April Madness, so that's going to be later on this evening. Of course, tomorrow we wrap up the finale here of LiuLi Cup 36, and what I will say also is, as a bit of a teaser for tournaments to come, LiuLi Cup 37 we're going to be covering, I believe, next week, and that is going to be featuring Scarlet. Scarlet is very inactive nowadays. Scarlet doesn't really compete too often in tournaments, so to see Scarlet in another event next week, exciting times here. So we'll be jumping all over LiuLi Cup at 30, I think it's 38 actually, 38 next time. Please, as we are now jumping into our first series of the night of the broadcast, we're jumping into Bunny versus Trigger. Let's go. Let us go. We have our TVP. Again, of course, Trigger we just featured in our own Sparkling Tuna Cup. Trigger did recently defeat ByuN, but how does he fare against, not quite ByuN, but the Bunny? As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have our Canadian Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Basilisk. It is a Trigger. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Terran player, the red Terran himself from South Korea. It is Bunny for Team Falcons. Here we go. Now again, if you haven't been watching StarCraft for the past, at this point, 6-7 months, you might not know this, but Trigger, he has been in Korea this entire time. He went to Korea pre-EWC. He went to Korea with Australia, with Future, with a Clem as well, and they were all practicing, training, improving, leading into the Esports World Cup. And Trigger, he was left behind. He was left behind, pulled a bit of a Kevin. You know, they looked around on the plane. They at one point realized, hold up, are we missing someone? Oh no. So Trigger, he has been in Korea the entire time, has been improving heavily in said Korea. I mentioned a name earlier this week. Trigger, he did defeat ByuN, but we have seen Trigger more regularly, especially in PvP, defeat players like Zoun, Hero, Classic on a more regular basis, likewise against Zerg players as well. So Trigger has been really leveling up. At this point, I would say Trigger, he is the best player in North America. I would say that he has surpassed Estrella. We actually did hold a show match between Trigger and Estrella at the start of the year in January, which Trigger was able to take. And of course, since then, Estrella has gone on a hiatus. We'll see if I'm hoping that Estrella comes back for EWC, but Estrella, he has gone on a hiatus, on an indefinite hiatus. He has not confirmed any kind of retirement or anything like that. But in the absence of Estrella, Trigger has risen up. He has risen up and he has been looking like a beast. Coming up against Bunny here, it's going to be a close one. Again, Bunny is hyper aggressive. We just featured Bunny a couple of days ago in the Rex March Madness against Zoun, where Zoun was looking dominant in the mid to late game in a best of 5. If you remember this, I do recommend the VODs if you missed out on the Rex April Madness. But Zoun, he was up 2-0, and do you know what Bunny did? Bunny, he was able to pull off the reverse sweep, and he all-in the hell out of Zoun 3 games in a row. 2 base all-in, different kinds of 2 base all-in, but 2 games in 2 base all-ins back to back to back to back. He was able to reverse sweep and he was able to knock Zoun the hell out. It was a crazy performance and a crazy comeback from Bunny, but clearly, like, if Bunny is pinned up against the wall, if he's up against the ropes, he's not afraid to play dirty. Nah, not afraid whatsoever. So yeah, we'll see how Trigger does handle the likes of Bunny. As for now, we do have our interesting opener. I was gonna say standard, but no, I mean, it was a gate into Cybercore into Nexus, that is true, but we have an earlier Stargate from Trigger, not a Twilight Council. Now, this is an opener that is viable. We do see this more often and more frequently on larger maps. Amygdala counts. Amygdala is one of the larger maps in the map pool, so Trigger going for the Stargate, going for an Oracle or Phoenix-based opener makes a little more sense. Now, if Bunny were to confirm this, Bunny can punish, but as you can see here, Bunny, he has not scattered whatsoever. No SCV scout, no Reaper scout, no nothing. Now, soon he will push out, as he's now up to 2 Reapers. He will soon move out across map once he does have his Cyclone to defend. There we go, the Reapers are on the way, but because of this, Bunny can't reactively make Vikings or reactively, like, get ready for said Phoenixes or Oracles. Not yet. He also can't punish it without scouting, of course. So Bunny's in the dark, and Trigger so far is getting away with this. Reapers, they do head in towards the main base. There's 1 Adept on patrol, but 1 Adept is not going to be enough. And the Reapers, oh, never mind. They do not rush past. They do get deflected. They do pull away. And Trigger, he will chase down those Reapers. He does chase them down. He gets 1, and he gets both. Both Reapers go down. Nice pickups here from Trigger. Now Bunny is aware of the Stargate opener. Back at home, he has his Cyclone on patrol. 1 Cyclone in the main base, and he has his Marines here at the natural as well. So Bunny, he is ready. He is prepared for the Oracles at least. But what we can see is that there's a reason why he focused on the Reapers. There's a reason why he showed his hand early, not later. And that is because he denied the Scouts. We are not making any more Skytoss units. No more Phoenixes, no more Oracles. Switch into Blink Stalkers. So again, that's why we did see a Trigger, instead of ignoring the Reapers and going for economic damage, he did focus them down to make sure that Bunny was in the dark. Bunny, he's going for a push. This makes sense. Against a Stargate opener, you are vulnerable. You don't have many units to defend. You are vulnerable to early game aggression. So Bunny being active like this, it makes sense here to try to punish Trigger. Little does Bunny know that we have plenty of Stalkers amassing with Blink on the horizon. Yeah, Bunny, he's committing. He's committing, and again, this move out would punish Phoenixes. If this was Oracle into Phoenixes, then Trigger, he'd be in trouble. Oh, do we get the bait? Not quite, but the Cyclone is going to go down. A massive pickoff already. And now he sees all the Stalkers. Now he knows. Now he's aware something is wrong. Something's... Oh no! Oh no! Oh my god, massive stasis goes off, and with that, the Medevac is going to be targeted down, and the Marines as well, and Trigger, he will completely shut this down. Oh my... Papi, calm down! Oh my god. Now the stasis does save some of these units, but again, those are massive trades, massive pickoffs, and Trigger, he's ready to punish this, ready to shut down as much as he can and focus down everything. The tanks, the Marines, we do see some support coming in to help save this, but there's no saving this. Yeah, there's no saving this here. 1 Stalker goes down, the Marines, they do get picked up. We do focus on the tanks. 1 tank, then the 2nd tank. And that's going to be everything falling here for Bunny. These are brutal losses. Looking at the new source tab here, that was 3 Stalkers. 3 Stalkers for what? For 10 Marines, 2 tanks, a Cyclone, a Medevac, 2 Reapers. Insane trades here for Trigger and Bunny. He has to get the hell out of here. Bunny is vulnerable. Bunny is exposed. Bunny has 1 tank, 4 Marines, and a bunker. Bunny's in trouble. Scary thing is, Blink just finished. Blink did just finish, which means Trigger, he can even bypass this army going to the main if he gets high ground vision. Speaking of, high ground vision is on the way. The Oracle does rotate. Meanwhile, Stalkers, yep, they head over towards the main base. There is 1 tank in position, 1 tank and 2 Marines, which means Trigger, he can still break this. Oh, does Blink in, does take a tank shot to the face. Another shot as well. Yeah, Trigger, he's pinned against the wall. He does get a Marine. Blinks out. Doesn't commit, he does blink out. Tank rotated, which means now the natural base is exposed. Again, Bunny's trying to keep up. Trying to keep up with the rotations. Tank is out of position. The bunker is gonna go down. Boys are being pulled to repair. Not fast enough. Bunker falls. The Marine's gonna be picked up. And again, the tanks are still rotating down to low ground. The tank's just now repositioning. Boys are being pulled away. Mining is denied. And behind this, double expand. Behind this, third base fully saturated, fourth base on the way. Trigger, he's got double the base count here of Bunny. He has full map control. Behind this, charge on the way. +1, Robo, Temple Archive, Storm, potentially Colossus production. Blinks in. Can he deny Stim? Oh, no shot. Okay. No. Stim is exposed a little bit, but thankfully Stim is not going to be denied. That would be a brutal pickoff. This Trigger is keeping up. Once again, rotating to set low ground. Bunker is rebuilt. Bunny now looking a little bit more secure. And again, Trigger doesn't have to break him. As a reminder, Trigger, he does not have to push into these bases. I would even say it would be a mistake if Trigger were to blink in and try to focus on a tank or a bunker. Like, there's no need for that. Trigger can just play it safe, play it calm, cool, and collected. Does get one more Marauder for nothing. He does blink away. And Trigger, he's enjoying a greater economy, taking up, massing up a greater army as well. And again, there's nothing pressuring Trigger to push in. Building up more Zealots, staying on a 3 gas count. Temple Archives is now done. We have still yet to invest into any splash damage, which is my biggest concern. Whether it's Storm or Colossus, what have you. One would be ideal. As Bunny does break out, he does get 1 Stalker. He's going to get 2. Second Stalker falls. Third Stalker fall. Oh my god. 3 Stalker kills, not bad. There's another Stim. And he does get a 4th Stalker, and even a 5th Stalker as well. Zealots have to respond to this. Bunny overextends. Like, Bunny, these are good trades, don't get me wrong. He picks off a lot of Stalkers, more than should have. But he's heavily overstimmed, and now here comes Trigger with his mass wave of charge slots. Yeah, these tanks are along for this world. The first tank goes down. Mine shots going off, we get some decent connections, but Trigger, he will completely overwhelm this army. He will swallow it up. The tanks, the Widow Mines, the Bio, the Marines, the Marauders, everything goes down at the same time, warping into the main. And Bunny, he's just too far behind. He cannot keep up. GG gets called, and Trigger will take game number 1. GG. Hey. GG, well played. Trigger, he does claim the first game, does take a lead in the series. Just catching up with the chat. But yes, Trigger does take a lead, and again, a very strong showing here by Trigger, but there was a lot of mind games. Like, there's so much that came into that game. As a reminder, winding it back, remember, it was a Stargate opener, which did get scouted, but the follow-up was hidden. Remember, Trigger, he was going Stargate, then bam, hard switch into Blink Stalkers, and Bunny was baited. He was baited into pushing, into attacking. Bunny believed that he was going to be punishing a Stargate opener. Little did he know that there were mass Blink Stalkers waiting, and by the time he got across the map, even if the stasis hadn't gone off, Trigger, he was going to shut him down. He was going to completely shut him down, and he did. The stasis did seal the deal, and after that failed early game push, that was almost game then and there. From that point, Bunny, he fell far behind. He lost his he lost his upgrade advantage, or I should say, sorry, his army advantage, his army lead, and from there he was contained. He was being bullied, and Trigger snowballed out of control. GG, well played. Just catching up with the chat. Hi for Scarlet, 100%. I look forward to it. It's been so long since I've casted Scarlet. So long. Oh, padrino, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Like, for my new PC, yo, let's go. Congratulations. Congrats on the new PC. Buenas. Road to EWC. Saludos de México. Ah, saludos, papi, saludos. Darkin también. De México. Ah, let's go. Oh, is that BB's emote? Let's go. Yo, shout out to Enki, Skros, Pacheca, and BB. They've been producing a lot of content together. It's been really cool to see. So as us, I was a lot of zealots. And here we go. We're jumping in game numero 2. Let's go. Let us go. As game 2 is going to be on Frostline. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Frostline, we have our Canadian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Basilisk, leading the series 1-0, it is Trigger. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player from South Korea, representing Team Falcons down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is ByuN. We go. Here we go, as we are going to be settling in. So far, so good. And we'll see how ByuN responds. Now, as a reminder, the last time I brought this up at the start of the broadcast for good reason, and now time to bring it up again. Last time ByuN was up against the ropes, he did just capitulate to the pressure and he just committed to non-stop 2-base all-ins. So we'll see if that happens here. As a reminder, this is a best of 3, so one more win is all that Trigger needs. If we did see an all-in, though, I'm a little bit concerned. First things first, double gas opener into a faster factory, so a much more aggressive start here by ByuN. But what I'm concerned by here is the map itself. Welcome one and all to Frostline. Here on Frostline, the rush distance by ground is longer. It is a larger map, so because of that, if we were to go for a 2-base all-in, it would take longer to get across the map. It'll be easier to scout, easier to recognize, and easier to prepare for. Kind of. It's a bit of a give and take. We have seen aggression succeed on this map, and the reasoning for this is because of how difficult it is to defend and to secure these bases. I'm referring to the 3rd base and the 4th base as well. Here we have these very large ramps coming into the triangular 3rd, likewise large ramp coming into the linear 3rd base as well. Because of this, the aggressing player can actually have a very large concave into the expansion and can be quite difficult to defend. On top of that, there's also this alleyway, this entrance in between the bases, in between the 3rd, the 4th, and the natural. There's another entrance here, there's another crossroads, if you will. So as the aggressing player, you can rotate easily between them. You can try to catch your opponent out of position, and we have seen a lot of players struggle and fail to defend on 3 bases, specifically on 3 bases. It'd be quite difficult to defend, even on 4 bases as well. I mean, even more difficult on 4 bases. So we'll see who's going to be the aggressor. We'll see how our players do adjust. For now, when it comes to the more aggressive start, there's the initial factory. We do open up Double Reaper Hellion. We have our tech of choice here from Trigger going for a Twilight Council, not a Stargate. Okay, so Twilight Council opener here out of our Canadian Protoss. Most likely into Blink. The Reaper did scout, the Reaper confirmed. So now ByuN, he's fully aware what's going on. He's aware it is going to be a more safe, robust start. He backs off and he's turning this opener into a Widowmine drop. Now, he did invest a little bit more heavily this time into this kind of aggression, right? He made a Hellion instead of another Widowmine, so 2 Reapers, 1 Hellion. The goal here should be to bust into a mineral line, to scout the natural, to scout the main base, to maybe get some probe kills. These units early on don't really scale too amazingly into a longer game, so we'll see what they can get done. As there's only 1 Widowmine. Okay, only 1 Widowmine. We have reactored marine production here. We'll see how this drop comes together, if we only go for the singular Widowmine drop, or if we load up that medevac with marines as well. Tank production has already begun here for ByuN. Interesting. Yeah, you can see the marines, they're massing up, ready for the drop. Back across the map, how many gateways? We have 1 gateway done, we have 2 gates on the way. It's going to be 3-gate blink here from Trigger. Let's go. You're a cross enjoyer as well. Let's go, let's go. Where's the Enki emote pack? ¿A dónde está mi hermoso? Mi Enki. Ay, ay, ay. The only one you're missing. But thank you so much, thank you so much. Good to see some support from Mexico. Good to see. As we do have our drop into the main, and yeah, it's a little bit of a Frankenstein drop here. It's 1 Widowmine and 4 Marines. We'd often see 6 Marines, but ByuN, like, his production was delayed, it was a little bit disturbed. Not the cleanest drop here, but does head into the mineral line. Oh, shot going off. Oh my god, getting 2 probes. 2 workers go down, a 3rd, 4th worker does get targeted. At the same time, a Heli Reaper does poke in, but alas, Trigger, he does deflect. So Trigger, he deflects the initial Reaper Hellion. He will chase down both Reapers, so both Reapers go down. But overall, I would say a successful drop. I mean, the medevac survived, every unit survived, the Marines and the Widowmine. Very nice drop here by ByuN. Gets full workers, pulls out, gets away. But now it's time to counterattack. Now Trigger, he is expanding behind this, and remember, Trigger, he does get the Warp Prism, so he can reinforce across the map. This is a more aggressive variation of 3-gate Blink, and Bunny, oh, he is in a bit of trouble here. He has to race back home. He has one tank on the low ground. The main base is more exposed though. Now again, this is not an all-in at a Trigger. He does expand, he is saturating, but if you're committing this hard, you have to get some damage. Like Trigger, he's looking for damage, he's going for the bunker, the tank is a little bit too far back. Bunker does go down, and blinks on the tanks, he gets one! Takes out one tank, and he doesn't quite get the other, has to pull back. Does take a lot of hits, does take a lot of damage. That's 3 Stalkers going down, 3 Stalkers for 1 tank and 1 bunker, worth it here for Trigger at the same time, Liberator across the map, and not many Stalkers to defend. Gets 2 workers, denies mining time. Oh! Does deny mining, does delay. Likewise, Trigger looking for another way in. Oh, and Trigger, he has no high ground vision. No! He's out of range. Yeah, he's just a little bit too far away. He's out of range, out of vision. Oh, God, he cannot quite deal with this. That is a disgusting position, actually. What the hell? What the hell? Like, he's covering this area here, I believe. Oh, wait, no, okay. Back to mining. So, a very Nazi position here from Bunny. Behind the bases. Now, I believe right now it's not actually within range of anything, if not just the one patch. Anymore, drop into the main base. But I'll be honest, I can't see the circle. I'm blind. So far, 3 ACV is going to be going down. Nice counter damage, delays the CC. Is that covering that northern patch? Oh wait, there's a line. There's a line. It covers this patch. This one here. Okay. There's one patch that it covers. It's the one closest here to the Liberator. But meanwhile, 6 SCV kills in total. Not bad. I believe the Prism did make it back. Yeah, and you can see that's why we have full saturation at the 3rd base. Oh god, no, he's trying. God, Jesus. Yeah. That is frustrating for sure. Dark Shrine on the way. Like, the only way to deal with this would be to make a Skytoss unit, like a Void Ray or a Phoenix. Meanwhile, Bunny moving in. And GG gets called. GG gets called. Trigger doesn't really have an army to deal with this. Again, his economy was disrupted, and Bunny does tie things up 1-1. Let's go. Whew. GG, well played. And with that, we are going to the ace match. Again, nicely done there by Bunny. He was able to wreak havoc, disrupt the economy, delay the economy, pick off some key units as well, some free Stalkers, and yeah, Trigger, he just had nothing to defend from there. It wasn't just that. As a reminder, it wasn't just the Liberator there and the damage that it was dealing, which was a part of it, but more importantly, remember, Trigger, he did heavily invest into his Stalkers, into his army, and in the end, he did get a tank, but I'm sure he was hoping for a little bit more. I'm sure he was also hoping to distract and to delay the push. But remember, he couldn't delay the push because he brought all the Stalkers home to deal with the Liberator, and he couldn't, which means he couldn't slow down the army and pick off Marines or force early sieges. Couldn't do anything about, again, Bunny's upcoming forces. With that, we're going to the ace match. We're going all the way to game number 3. Here we go. So we're going into the ace match. Is this a new map? No, it's been around for almost a year? A year at this point? I think so. But here we go. We're jumping into our next game. This morning in the bottom left-hand corner of Leylines, we have the Canadian Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Basilisk. It is Trigger. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Falcons. It is Bunny. Does that have to be a Phoenix Colossus on Frostline? I would say no. It's just, I'll be honest, we cast a lot of StarCraft here over the past year. That's the first time I've seen a player abuse that specific position. No, I've never seen that before. So, yeah, Bunny may have found a nice little spot that others haven't. And we'll see if Trigger can bring it back. So far, we are getting into the ace match. So far, so good. go. Trigger does move in. This time, economic opener out of bunny. As a reminder, last game we did see double gas openers out of bunny. This time it is going to be a Rax expand, economic start out of our Terran player. We go. As we do open up. Likewise, trigger behind this going to be going into his own standard opener, going for a gate into Cybercore, into expansion, into Nexus. And interesting location for the CC, by the way. Like, we spoke about how this is an economic start, and usually you have the CC a little bit further back here to float over. This is further away. I mean, on the one hand, it does mean that Trigger can't see it. He can't confirm what exactly is going on. But at the same time, it will take a little bit longer to float over on location. So, interesting start here from Bunny. It's going to be an interesting start. Again, just hiding his build from his opponent. And we'll see if Trigger does overreact. That would be the hope for Bunny. As Reaper does move out. Oh my god, now we see why. Jeez. What is happening? That is insane. Now, you've seen ByuN go for 3cc before factory before. That is true. I should say 3cc 3 racks is what ByuN does. This is 3cc before factory before anything else. This is the greediest build you can go for. Even Spirit is jealous of what the hell this is. That is insane. Oh my god. So insane. Like, the natural's not even done, and we already have the 3rd CC halfway done at this point. Ay. So 3cc before factory. The factory's throwing me off. If you're familiar with ByuN, you'll know that ByuN, he does like going 3cc 3 racks, but that's still the 3rd CC after the 2nd racks, not before the 2nd racks. So like, this is even greedier than what ByuN usually does. So that is insane. Now, for those that are curious, the power of these kind of builds, when you rush into a 3rd base like this, it doesn't hit immediately. So the real strength in this build is when you get your 3rd base saturated. So you're able to make 3 SCVs at a time sooner. So you saturate your natural sooner, and you saturate your 3rd base sooner. And once your 3rd base kicks in, that's when Bunny will be able to skyrocket ahead supply-wise. Now, until then, though, he's still being quite greedy, still cutting corners, and he can still be punished. So he's not able to like take full advantage of this yet, but like it's still very, very greedy, and it still will, I mean, at least impact his 2 base saturation as well. And it's on Trigger to recognize what's going on, to figure it out, and to again try to punish and try to delay the 3rd base for as long as possible. Oh boy. So we'll see if he can. For the time being, we're just settling in. That's going to be a 2-gate opener, correct? Yes, 2-gate. So 2-gate blink into a 3rd. Trigger, he's playing economically. So because of this economic build out of Trigger, he cannot punish this. He cannot punish this. Bunny, he will be able to enjoy this 3rd CC. Trigger can try to delay the 3rd base, but trying to break Bunny early on is not an option, as Trigger is blindly playing economically himself. So I would say this is going to be favoring Bunny. Bunny is in a better position. He does have the greedier build comparing the two. And again, a lot of this is going to come down to whether or not Trigger can gain map control and delay the 3rd base at this point. As Trigger is getting into charge, getting to the forge, getting to +1, getting into his gateway composition. He does poke in. Oh! Gets a probe. Not bad. Gets 1 worker so far. Let's get 1 worker. Trigger pulling away. That could backfire because the Trigger makes an army to defend. As a reminder, again, Trigger, he's playing greedily, so Trigger doesn't have much of an army to work with. That's why Bunny, he's in a better position. He does get away with this. The most that Trigger can do right now is to delay the expansion, not to kill Bunny. Is to try to delay the 3rd base when Bunny tries to take it, because up until this point, both players are focusing on their economies. So we're still going to be building up. And from here, we do have our biotank setup here. These are really early 5-rack setups here from Bunny. Again, because of the boosted economy. Hallucination scouts. Now Trigger realizes what's going on. Now he's aware of the third base timing. But at this point, I don't know if Trigger can do anything about it. Again, Trigger, his army here is lacking. He's been skipping warp-ins. Again, all in favor of upgrades, of expansions, of tech. We do see Bunny getting in position. Trigger, he is aware now. And the pressure is on. The pressure is on Trigger. Now, he could try to bypass the army. He does have the observer here at the natural location. For now, Trigger, he's teching, going for the bay. He's setting up for a run-by. So we'll see if he can try to distract Bunny here and try to slip into the mineral line or get a prism into the main base as well. Speaking of prism into the main, turrets being thrown down. Remember, Bunny, he can afford this. Zealots, they get caught out, so they get shut down. A run-by is not going to be successful. But Bunny just got scattered. He's out of position. We're going for almost a pseudo base trade here as Trigger. He does hit the third. He does hit the third base, and Bunny's out of position. Let's go. The third base is going to go down. Mineral line does fall. Bunny, he goes across the map. He's going to deny the fourth, and from here, Bunny can stim into the third. Do we have a recall, or do we commit? Do we commit to the base trade? Boys are being pulled. Oh, Wintermine does go up. Bunny rushing into the third. And Trigger, he doesn't reinforce back at home. He commits across the map. Does not have energy at the natural. He does have energy in the main. So if need be, can recall back into the main base. And looks like he's going for it. Yeah, Trigger, he turns around. There's the recall into the main. Bunny moving in, pushing towards that natural. Disruptor's on the way. Up, the Nova. Does get a Disruptor, never goes off. Takes down the Wintermines. Nice pickup. Wintermines do go down. Robo gets E-powered for a moment, and Robo's gonna fall. Oh, and can Trigger deal with this? There's just so much bio. Trigger coming for us around. He comes in from behind. The boys are being pulled. And he will focus on the tank, but there's just so many Marines. Yeah, the bio army is being cleaned up, though. The charge lets it get a full surround, and Trigger, he cleans up the army. Whew. He dealt economic damage across the map. Bunny, he is crippled back at home. He defends. Likewise, while Trigger does defend. Colossal production on the way, and Trigger, he takes a lead. Hi. Trigger does take a lead. He's up in bases. He's up in economy. I say even on bases, but again, there's no saturation here at the natural. Bunny was all in, and Trigger surround was exactly what he needed. He saves the Disruptor. This is a little bit cavalier here from Trigger. We can just calm down. Trigger just has to calm down, get a third base up and running, build back up his production, his army, Colossus on the way. There's nothing pressuring Trigger to push in. He doesn't need to. Doesn't need to move in. Just calm things down. Now, Bunny, he is on 3 CCs, so he can recover a little bit faster. That is true, but he is so far behind here in the worker count. He lost all of his tanks, of course. Lost most of his high-tech units. Now, what I will say is that Bunny's army here is comparable to the army of Trigger. 100%. Like, Bunny, he can still end the game with this. I don't think Bunny has much longevity in this game, but his army is still very threatening, and he can try to go for drop play, or try to knock down the expansion, try to catch Trigger out of position. He can make something happen with this army, but the longer this goes on, the better it is for Trigger. So, Bunny, he's on a timer. He's on a timer here. As Trigger moves out, Bunny reclaiming his third. Looks like Bunny does want to try to macro out of this. Trigger moving in. Once again, Zilla run by a setup here on the right hand side. Oh! Trigger will take a matchup to the face. Oh, to the Colossus. Colossus is very low. Zilla run by is coming in. Does hit the natural mineral line. SCV's going to be going down. Bunny, he has to react. It does pull away. SCV's going to be going down. Shows that Nova. Not quite available. And so far, it's going to be 6 SCV kills. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay damage. Get 6 SCVs. Bearing in mind the Trigger, he's trading minerals. He's trading out minerals. These are losses that Trigger can afford. It doesn't have to be the most efficient trades. As he does catch out the army, a massive catch. Takes down some of the bio, takes down some of the marauders. And Trigger, he reinforces, and at this point, he might just have enough. He might just have enough to break through, to bust through this defensive line. Line goes down. My shot on a single Zealot. Yeah, now he can commit in. We have a decent concave here, but the Nova goes off. Oh. Yeah, breaks that concave. Colossus, they go to town. The Bio army does them in though. Where are the Zealots? Where's the Bio? Stalkers, they fall. Disruptor as well. He's going for the Colossus. And it looks like he will clean this up. Bunny with the concave pulling the boys as well. Takes down the Colossus. One Colossus survives. Trigger, he barely has enough. Ay. Now Bunny, he does save all his medevacs, and that was an impressive hold, but he did have to pull the boys, did lose a lot of SCVs in the process. And we spoke about this, like Trigger, he doesn't have to push in. Trigger, he doesn't have to fight. Just calm down, Trigger. Calm down. He's getting a fourth. Just enjoy your economy. You don't have to send it. Just take it slow. As Bunny does have the supply lead, the army supply lead, I should say. A lot of supply are in medevacs, of course, but still a threatening army. Trigger playing with fire, that's what I will say. Poking in, these Colossus are so vulnerable. Takes down 2 Widow Mines, nice pickoffs, has to get the hell out of here. You know, Bunny, he wants that Disruptor. He's gonna get it. Disruptor goes down, massive pickoff. And that was wasteful here from Trigger. He rotates over, gets another Widow Mine, and gets another as well. Likewise, still reinforcing. Prism is on the way. Bunny down to 2 Widow Mines. Trigger bleeds out a Stalker. He has +3 on the way, saturating his 4th base. Again, army supplies are still very close. As Bunny's being active, this is still very tense here between the two players. Like, a fight can still go either player's way. Actually, I do favor Bunny here in this next fight, so Trigger has to be careful, has to pull away. No shield batteries. No shield batteries at the 3rd. That is a lot of Zealots, though. A lot of charge lots. Now getting a 3rd Colossus. Doesn't bait out the Widow Mine. Oh man, we just pulled the boy. Let's go. Bunny, he pulls the boys. I mean, again, Bunny cannot out macro his opponent, so this is the correct call, I would say. He's built up a massive army. It's all or nothing for Bunny. If it was pushing into sentries, I'd be concerned we could force field, but last no sentries. It does push up the ramp. The concave in favor of Trigger. It just collapses on the army. The Colossus is just so much of the back line. They shut down the SCVs. One Colossus falls, but there just aren't enough Vikings. Yeah, not enough Vikings. Vikings are going down one after the other. Zealots, they break through. And Trigger, he's done it. Trigger, he cleans up the army. It was one final push here from Bunny. GG gets called, and Trigger, he will take the series at 2-1, advancing on to the next round. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Bunny, he was all in. When it came to the base trade, Trigger, he came out on top. He came out in a better position. Despite that, Trigger, he had some questionable engagements where he was maybe a little bit too excited. He pushed in a little bit too early, and Bunny was able to have some very, very incredible fights. But the reality was that the longer the game went on, it was still better for Trigger. Bunny, there was no way for him to out macro Trigger, so going for the all-in, I do fully understand it. Unfortunately, was pushing up a ramp. Unfortunately, was pushing up a ramp into a concave of 3 Colossus. It was brutal. See those Colossus go ham, and in the end, Trigger, he did claim it. GG. GG, well played. That leads us here into our next game, and congratulations to Trigger as he does take the series. Very close though, very intense. I mean, as a reminder, it all started with a base trade. I mean, it started with Bunny being hyper greedy, but then both armies miss each other. Base trade unfolded, base trade ensued, and then GG. GG, well played. Trigger did come out on top, and now we are getting ready for our next series of the broadcast. Un momento. Un momento, here we go. Getting ready for our next series. We just featured a Terran and a Protoss, but now we're here to feature another race here in StarCraft 2. The one and only in the Invitational, in the bracket, is going to be SHIN and Zoun facing off in a ZVP. Let's go. So we have our first game. We're going to be loading into Ley Lines. Now, as a reminder, the winner of this series faces off against Trigger. They do face off in the next round. And here we go, spawning in the top or in the bottom left-hand corner of Ley Lines, we have our South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg. It is SHIN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player from South Korea. It is Zoun. Here we go. Of course, both Zoun and SHIN have since found some new teams. At the time of these matches, they were still teamless. They were still without a home. But as of a couple of days ago, Zoun did recently join Team Vitality and SHIN did join Weibo Gaming. So they have new homes, they have new teams. Really great to see them find that. Again, we did discuss this last night during the podcast. We went over all the news of the week. They weren't the only players to find new teams, but other players have also been picked up. And this is all in lieu of EWC. There's still a couple of players that have yet to find a new home, but most likely they will be picked up. I'm referring to players like Classic, referring to players like GuMiho, referring to players like Showtime. These are players that most likely will be picked up in the lead up to EWC, to the Esports World Cup. But again, really great to see Zoun and SHIN get the support that they deserve. From here, Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener out of SHIN. Likewise, across the map, we do have our Gate Expand set up from Zoun. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. Go. From here, we don't really expect any deviations in the early game, but we'll keep an eye on Zoun. He should be going for a Stargate opener. From there, though, we could see Oracle, we could see Void Ray, we could see an earlier tech structure after that as well, before the expansion. There are definitely options here for Zoun. Early on, though, settling in. Early on, though, everything's looking as it should. Probe just being as annoying as possible across the map, tasing the mineral line. Let's go. Zoun does pull away. Fine, goes from here. There's our tech of choice, going for a Stargate opener. Twilight Council openers are not unheard of course. We do still see them mixed into series, into Glaive Adepts, into Archon Drop based openers as well. But Zoun isn't really one to deviate too much from the norm. He's not like a Hero or a Classic where they do mix in Twilight Council openers into DTs or into Glaive Adepts. Zoun, less so. As the Overlord does confirm, so SHIN, he's now aware of the Stargate. From here, it does pull away. First Adept has arrived. And so far, SHIN, he's keeping up. Keeping up is zoning away. We have our first unit. It is going to be the Oracle opener here out of Zoun, and from here we can get a third base. So Oracle opener into second, third Oracle into a third base is what we expect to see into a longer macro game. The next big thing that we're really looking for from Zoun is his Twilight Council timing. If he goes for the Twilight Council earlier without a Forge, then it could be indicative of Glaive Adepts or early Blink into a 3-base all-in. If he goes for a Forge alongside it, then most likely just plus on the Blink Stalkers. There are also some variations where you go for an earlier Robo. That would be a sign of indication of an Archon drop, of High Templar into Archon drop across the map. So there are options here for Zoun, as he does claim his third. Third base on the way. SHIN back at home, droning, does make a wave of Lings to try to apply some pressure. Oracles do move out, and there it is. That is an earlier Twilight Council. Okay, now the usual Twilight Council timing is around the Nexus being halfway done. Because it just got thrown down, this is one of two things: either Glaive Adepts or very early Blink. Remember, no Forge, no +1. Overlord does poke in. Overlord does confirm the timing of the Twilight Council. SHIN knows, and SHIN instantly throws down a Roach Warren. Good response. Usually you would wait around 5 minutes for the Roach Warren. This was at 420 or 425-ish, so much earlier Roach Warren as a response, as a reaction to this Twilight Council. So SHIN, he's playing the safe, and we can see it is not a blink, it is not a glaives, it is early charge. Now, regardless of what it is, remember, SHIN, he already has the tools to defend because he knows that aggression is coming his way. Now, we see that it's going to be a charge-based timing, and this can hit like a truck. If SHIN had gone into Ling Hydra, if SHIN had skipped or delayed his Roach Warren, he'd be in trouble, but Roaches are exactly what you want against this. As here comes that gateway explosion. Zoun patrolling between the bases. Is going to be zoned away. Here, force back. SHIN from this point saturating up his third base, getting a fourth base as well. For now, just focusing on Ling Roach. He hasn't made any Roaches yet, which is a little bit concerning. I say that there is still time. You can see that Zoun, he is banking up those Zealots. He's banking them up here at the natural, keeping them hidden, and he will soon rush across the map. Just waiting for those gateways so he can reinforce. Up until this point, SHIN, he's free to drone. He's free to drone up and saturate his 3 bases. We should be seeing a 4th base. Oh, the 4th base gets delayed here. Nice stasis trap out of Zoun. Likewise, Oracles, they hit the mineral line. 2 more drone kills, nothing major. 3 drones. 3 workers go down. SHIN, he's poking in, and SHIN, ideally, he wants to scout what's going on. As he hasn't seen the Zealots, and SHIN, he's not making Roaches, he's taking up into Hydras. SHIN, he does miss the move out. SHIN has no idea. Does have a couple of Roaches on the way, but that's a lot of Zealots. And SHIN, he's still droning. There we go, now he knows. Now he sees, now he knows. Lings, they do get shut down. This 4th base is exposed, it's vulnerable. And now SHIN is responding with Roaches, but this might be too late. I don't think he can save this. He cannot save the base. Massive pick off. Expansion goes down. SHIN, he's stuck on 3 bases. That is all that Zoun needs. There's a creep. And from here, Zoun, he should back off. He should back off. He already got what he wanted. He cleaned up Lings, cleared up creep, and he contained SHIN on 3 bases. Now, what is terrifying for SHIN is that this doesn't just impact the economy of SHIN, it impacts the production. Like, the production of SHIN here is going to be delayed, is going to be disrupted because he lost the 4th base. It was delayed twice this game already. And Zoun is getting ready for the next step. He's massing up double Robo production, double Immortal production back at home. +1 is on the way, Temple Archives on the way. Zealots, they are no, can he force another cancel? No shot. The 4th base, once again for the 3rd time, is going to be denied. Ay, ay, ay. Zealots, they poke in from the right. They don't quite collapse on the Roaches. SHIN getting pulled apart. Oracles into the main. And the Oracles, they do scout the Hydra. And at this point, SHIN, he might just be forced into a 3-base all-in. Like, this 4th base is just so late. And Zoun, he's ready for it. I mean, that's why Zoun is making 2 Immortals at a time. He's expecting a counterattack. He's expecting an all-in. And he's just content to just build up more Immortals. Just chill back at home. Storm is on the way. Just waiting for SHIN to come to him. And SHIN is coming. I mean, he has to. Again, like SHIN, to have a 4th base delayed this heavily, you have to commit to a fight. You have to commit to an all-in. It's the only option for SHIN. Now, SHIN, he will catch the 4th base. Not bad. 4th base is cancelled. Storm isn't ready. Storm is not ready. Lings, they do dive in. Stasis trap goes off. Nice stasis. And Zoun, he needs a little bit more time. Ezekiel with his pants down. He needs that Storm. And the High Templar, they're not quite ready for this. The Immortals, they do trade well. Trade well against the Roaches. A lot of Roaches are going down. Meanwhile, Army does get into the mineral line. 14, 15 probes. Oh my god. The economic damage. 18 probes. 18 probes go down. The stasis trap does run out. Where is the Storm? 8 more seconds. And SHIN, he just barely breaks through. Just before Storm finishes. Just before Zoun was heavily fortified. SHIN has done it. He has done it. GG gets called. SHIN, he will break the 3rd. And SHIN will take game number 1. Whew, GG. Again, SHIN, he was forced into an all-in. His 4th base was denied time and time again. It was really good damage out of Zoun, but as we saw, Zoun barely wasn't ready. By the time Storm finished, the game was over. The game was over there by the time Storm did complete. Actually, I think the game ended just before Storm finished as well, so alas, Zoun, he just barely wasn't ready for that. If Storm was ready, he holds. He holds there. He has a much easier time against the Ling reinforcements, against the Hydra reinforcements as well. The Immortals were trading very efficiently against the Roaches, but he needed, what, 30 more seconds? 30 more seconds. And with that, SHIN takes a lead. And now we're jumping into game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. I would also say, reflecting on that final defense, that maybe Zoun was a little bit too greedy when it came to taking that 4th base. If you remember, he was claiming he was trying to expand and take a 4th base as he was denying the 4th bases of his opponent. Instead of that, it looks like he wasn't fully aware that he had forced an all-in. That could have been like 3 shield batteries, right? That could have been 3 shield batteries at the 3rd base for a cleaner defense as well, to buy more time. So maybe Zoun just being a little bit too greedy there after having a successful early game. With that, we're getting into our next game, into game number 2. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, leading the series 1-0, 1 game away from making it into the semifinals. It is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss, the blue Protoss player. It is Zoun. Here we go. Players are calming things down. And welcome one and all to Whispers of Gold. Whispers of Gold is one of the more smaller maps of the map. It is a rush map known for aggression, known for all-ins. That's what we mainly see here on Whispers. And that goes both ways. It goes both ways. And once again, to reiterate what happened in game 1, I do think that Zoun was very successful with his charge timing. He did very well with it. But he poked the bear, and he poked the bear, he forced you all in, and again, it does look like Zoun wasn't really expecting it, or he was maybe expecting it to be a little bit more later, a little bit more delayed. Zoun misjudging the state that he had put SHIN in. And we'll see how he adjusts coming into game 2. Now, I don't expect to see the same build, not at all. Like, I'm referring to Stargate Opener into a charge timing. That is a very unique build. It's very specialized, it's very niche, and you do that once in a series. Once in a best of 3, once in a best of 5, once in a best of 7 sort of thing. So we do expect something different here. Either standard game, or I would even say more defensive play. I wouldn't be opposed to an early Twilight Council into early Blink, into just a safer setup here at the 3rd base, considering SHIN's aggressive tendencies, but we'll see. We'll see if Zoun plays safe, if he plays standard, if he plays aggressive, if he's greedy. There we go, Stargate at the natural. I believe SHIN, he will scout the Stargate, is aware. That's an interesting position for the second pylon. Hello. Interesting. So the second pylon is behind the mineral line. SHIN does scout it, by the way. He's aware. And this is a prime location to hide tech. Now, as we can see, it was a Stargate opener initially. Part of that might be because the Overlord was over the pylon. If SHIN scouted the main base, maybe Zoun would have hit something here. It's possible. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. Like, that's a very, very suspicious pylon. In the end, of course, so the Overlord has eyes on everything, so if Zoun was planning to hide something, he's deterred. He goes for the Stargate instead, into the Oracle. And SHIN, he is safe and sound. So far, so good. Once again, just like the previous game, we're looking to see the timing of the Twilight Council. Like, when it gets thrown down, if it gets thrown down earlier on or later. And on top of that, whether SHIN scouts. As it to poke in. SHIN is supply blocked, quite heavily. That was 4 Overlords on the way. Zoun moves out with the Oracle, and Zoun should soon be expanding. There we go, there's the expansion for Zoun. Does claim his 3rd. Oracle pokes in, Spore's not ready. Getting 1, 2 drone kills so far, getting up to 3. Very nice damage so far here by Zoun. Does escape with the Oracle. At the same time, SHIN moving in with his Ling run by. Can he force a delay? There's an Oracle. There's an Oracle in position. Zoun should be fine. Should be fine here. Meanwhile, once again, early Twilight Council actually further back in the main base. Not here at that hidden pylon. I mean, again, he knows where the Overlord is, so it'll be more difficult for the Overlord to confirm the tech and to confirm what's going on. Now, with this early Twilight Council timing, once again, to reiterate, this could be early Glaives, early Blink, or technically early Charge. I'm crossing out early Charge just because that's the build we saw last game, but there's still the Forge. This does look like the same build. So far, this does look like the same build here from Zoun. Twilight Council is done. Show us what you got. We have the money for it. Now harassing across the map. Pulls back. Overlord comes in. The Overlord does confirm. Sees everything. Twilight Council and Forge, and it is going to be early Blink. Okay. So early Blink out of Zoun. Now this is a safer build because Blink is researched so quickly and so early. It does mean that if SHIN were to go for a 3 base all in or 2.5 base all in, Blink would be done in time and Zoun would be able to defend. As we can see, going into later +1 into a more standard setup here. Not going for a charge this time. Zoun does move out. SHIN, he already has his Roach Horn finishing up. And we'll see what Zoun can get done. SHIN, he's in position. Yeah, SHIN is in the mineral line. He's got his queens. Zoun does hit that front door. Pokes in, going for the queens, and he does get one. One queen goes down. Nice pickoff. Roaches are delayed. SHIN actually not making any roaches. Does come with the Lings. The Oracles, they will support this though. The Lings, they are going to be enough. They will surround. They will clean this up. Whew. And SHIN holds. SHIN, he holds. He doesn't lose any extra workers. Did lose 2 queens in the defense. But does clean this up. Gases are being taken. Okay, getting up to 6 gases. So this tells us that Zoun is going to be teching. From here, he can go into Storm or go into Colossus. He can tech up. Oh, as Lings, they surround the Stalkers. Oh my god, brutal surround here. Getting 1, 2, 3 Stalkers. Ay, ay, ay. Again, that should not have happened. Very opportunistic here by SHIN. Very nice pickoffs. Proxy Gateway. Now, checking the gateway count here, we have how many so far? We have 6, soon to be 9. Jeez, 3 base all in. Now, I'm a little bit perplexed. Usually, when you go for a 3 base all in like this, you don't take as many gases. But as you can see, no saturation. There's no saturation at the... Oh, okay, now it's pulling in. But we have some really interesting saturation here from Zoun. Okay, he does pull into his gases. And he can afford to make Mass Stalker. He's going for it. He's going for the kill. No tech. No tech here from Zoun. He's just sending everything across the map. Just Mass Blink Stalker. But SHIN, he's playing this safe. He does have a Ravager to defend. He did not over drone. Oh, I say that he just made 7 drones. Never mind. Just made 7 workers. That is scary. It's terrifying. SHIN, he does poke in. Meanwhile, Zoun, he can warp in at 9 Stalkers at a time. It is a 3 base, 9 gate all in. Lings, yep, they confirm. SHIN knows. SHIN, he's fully aware. Yep, Spine Crawler's on the way. You can see SHIN is already getting ready for the worst. Like, he knows that he was greedy. He knows that he was droning. He needs those Spine Crawlers. Stasis goes off. Catching out some Lings. SHIN, he tried to backstab. He was unable to. And Zoun is teching. Like, this is a really weird setup here. Again, Zoun, he is 3 base all in, but because of these gases, he can afford tech. Robo's on the way. +2 is on the way. Still forcing his way forward. Zoun is supply blocks. Oh, now is not the time. He's making 4 pylons. Yeah, 4 pylons on the way. That might be why he threw down the Robo. As he is heavily supply blocked. Now he can warp in. There we go, warping in 8 Stalkers. And meanwhile, the Spine Crawlers are in position. Yeah, they're dishing out a lot of damage here. 1 Spine Crawler goes down. But Zoun, unfortunately, he has to push into the spines. Oof. Take some biles to the face. SHIN, so far, he's holding on. 9 more works in production. 1 Spine Crawler goes down. He's down to 1 spine left. Gets another queen. means they're getting picked off. There's that tech, another robo. The Bay's on the way for Colossus production. Zoun, he is taking up, but this is late tech. I should emphasize that as well. Like Zoun, it looks like he's trying to transition out of the initial three base all in. Oh, does notice the stasis. It does notice. As once again they rain down on the army. And SHIN is about to max out. And even though Zoun, yes, he's working on Colossus production, SHIN, he will soon break free from this contain and get across the map. Yeah, SHIN is taking up. Going for the Hydrogen, massing up wings. Oracles are deflected. SHIN, he secures himself. Now, if Zoun can buy a little bit more time for his Colossus, then maybe he can survive the counterattack. As the Colossus are on the way. He's up to 2. 2 Colossus. SHIN, he breaks out. Does catch a couple of Stalkers. Oh, very nice biles. Ay, catching up 2 of those Oracles. Oracles go down. We'll clean up the proxy, but the Colossus have arrived, so Zoun can still stabilize. He's not there yet. Zoun, he's still stuck on 3 bases. His 4th base is insanely late. So very late 4th base for Zoun, as again, he was 3 base all in. But he may be able to stabilize with the help of the Colossi. Yeah, without Lings, they're going to be forced back. Force back SHIN, he has to get the hell out of here. SHIN is taking up into lurkers. And SHIN is enjoying a better economy at least. Yeah, he's respecting these Colossus quite a bit. He has to. Pulls back to the ramp. Pulls back to his concave. Zoun still forcing his way in. Maxed out. Yeah, the base is forfeit. Expansion goes down. Up to 4 Colossus. And with only Ling Bang Roach Ravager, SHIN, he's in trouble. He's in trouble here. Zoun, he successfully teched into Colossi. He got there. Ling Bang rolling on forward. It can trade somewhat well against this. Force fields get thrown down. And can he get on top of the Colossus? He barely cannot. He gets 1. 1 Colossus goes down. Reinforcements on the way. Up, going for the other. Won't get the 10 Colossus though. Yeah, and Zoun has done it. Zoun, he does it. He breaks through the defensive line. He snowballs out of control. GG gets called, and Zoun, he will take, or he will tie up the series 1-1. We're going to the ace match. Whew. GG. We are going to the ace match again. Zoun, things were looking dire. Things were looking dire for Zoun. Zoun, he was 3 base all in. He was not doing enough damage, but he did buy enough time for the Colossus. And we saw that SHIN was just not ready for that. He was broken then and there. It also helps that we were on Whispers of Gold. As a reminder, we did mention that Whispers of Gold at the start of the game is a rush map. It does favor aggression, and that's exactly what we saw at Zoun. Just non-stop aggression. What it means is that the Colossus reinforce faster. Imagine this game on Amygdala, or on Frostline, or Neo Violet Square, where Colossus would take a lot longer to get across the map, and SHIN would have more time to take up into lurkers. As a reminder, he had a hive on the way, he had a lurker dead on the way, he was getting ready for that lurker switch, but he did need more time, and Zoun didn't give him that time. GG. GG, well played. Zoun snowballs out of control with the 3 base all in, and that leads us into game number 3, the ace match. Let's go. And we'll see how this story ends, as spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have the red Zerg player being forced into the ace match. We'll see if we can bring it back. It is SHIN. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself, tying up the series 1-1. We'll see if we can go the distance and go all the way. It is Zoun. Here we go. And welcome one and all to Abyssal Reef. Now here on this larger map, 3 base all-ins are significantly weaker, so I don't expect Zoun to go for the same build. It will be, yeah, it is going to be a little bit more deterred here. The map itself is going to be working against Zoun, and we have seen non-stop aggression out of Zoun. As a reminder, game 1, we saw Zoun rushing into charge, really early charge timing from Zoun to try to cripple SHIN, which was relatively successful. He just wasn't ready for the all-in that he had forced. Game 2, 3-base all-in out of Zoun. It was 9-gate blink into double Colossus production as the follow-up. Here, game 3, those kind of builds, those kind of styles are going to be less effective. So we do expect to see either more standard play out of Zoun or more greedy play out of Zoun. You know, going for a faster third base or faster fourth base or faster tech. More importantly, you can get away with defending with less on Abyssal Reef. So we could see, say, a tech switch faster into Colossus, into Storm, or into Sky Toss. That is viable here on for Zoun on Abyssal. The reasoning for this, it isn't just the size of the map, but the terrain, the natural base, as you can see, it's fully walled off. Like Zoun, he just fully walls off the ramp coming into the natural, so it is very well defended. Likewise, that means that Zoun can focus his army positioning here at the third, and you can expand with your army next to your third base, the fourth base, and the fifth base. Your 5-base setup is very centralized here, so it's easy to rotate in between the bases and easier to defend your 5-base setup as well. So we often do see a lot of late game and Sky Toss on Abyssal Reef. But we'll keep an eye on our players. We'll see what direction our players do head in. As for now, SHIN is taking his third. We have our take of choice, Stargate Opener out of Zoun. I wouldn't even be opposed to Zoun opening up Void Ray this time, just to keep SHIN in the dark. SHIN, he does claim his third. So far, just droning. Just settling in. Here we go. As it's going to be Oracle first, not Void Ray, so it does open Oracle. We'll be moving out across the map. From here, Zoun, he can freely expand and take and claim his third. Meanwhile, for the most part, this series, SHIN has been reacting. He's been reacting to his opponent, reacting to the builds, the aggression, the tech. I was going to say that we could see SHIN try to be a little bit more assertive. Despite the size of the map, we could see like Nidus play be effective, or even Drop Lord play be effective. Something that we do see quite often actually here is Spire play and Mutas. So we could see a 3-base setup into a Roach Warren, into lack of upgrades, into a fast Spire, into Muta play. That can be quite effective here on Abyssal Reef. As Lings, they poke in, they get a surround, but the Oracle is here, and the Oracle will defend. Meanwhile, speaking of Mutas, that is a 4-minute lair. Okay, so this is a faster lair than we've seen in any game so far in this series. So very fast lair timing here out of SHIN. Now we have to keep an eye on the gases. Does he claim 4 gases early on? What exactly is this for? This could be for Muta play. This could even be for Ling Hydra, for like a Hydra-based all-in without any Evo chambers or upgrades. SHIN has options for now. Takes a second gas geyser. Double Oracle into the main. Oh. So far, deflected at the third. SHIN is droning. He's droning up. Keeps eyes on the Adepts. Forcing them back. That's a little Lings. Massing up more Lings. Getting another Queen. The other thing this could be is Nidus. I mentioned before that Nidus play is a way to deal with Abyssal Reef, so this could be Ling Queen Nidus all in. Yep, there it is, Nidus all in on the way. Whew. Again, the lack of gases was the tell. So only 2 gases, you only need the Nidus, and we're going for the all in. So the turns have been tabled. Meanwhile, Zoun going for +1 in charge, but alas, the Nidus will hit first. And Zoun is not aware. Zoun, he didn't see the lair timing. Seeing the lair would have been a massive tell, but remember, Zoun, he was deflected at the third base. The Oracles did not get into the main. So Zoun is in the dark. More Lings on the way. More Lings are being produced. Gets a surround. Brutal surround here, but the Oracle will protect. Yeah, Lings are being cleaned up. This is an overextension from SHIN. Yeah, he shouldn't have committed. A lot of Lings do fall at the same time as Zoun is distracted, and the Nidus is on the way, and it's out of vision. He doesn't see the Nidus. The Queens are coming. The Lings as well. So we have Lings reinforcing towards the left-hand side. The Queens, they pop into the main. We have another Nidus within the production, going for the pylons, going for the tech. Oracles, they try to support. More Queens on the way. The pylon does fall. Yeah, Brutal Artrosis pylon. Everything gets depowered. +1 is still on the way, though. Lings at the same time, they hit the third. Queens waddling further in. And they waddle further in. Remember, there's just no upgrades here for these gateway units. Lings, they keep everything busy. They force warp-ins at the third base. +1 is still on the way. But more Lings reinforce. Yeah, they're going for the pylons. Pylons are going to be targeted. All the production is being depowered. And what is there left? There's 2 gateways at the natural, and there's only 2 gates. Only 2 gateways down. You can warp in 2 units at a time, and only vanilla units. Boys being pulled away. There is no production. What you see is what you get. Again, just warping in 2 units at a time. We've got some shield batteries on the way here at the natural. But the reality is that SHIN, he can just rotate from the main base out here to the third. He can just go back and forth. And here he comes. Yeah, Queens, they rotate over towards the third base. They're done with the main. They've killed everything. The Cybercore, Temple Archives. Oh, Queens, they pop back out. Jesus. So quick to respond. They do pop back out. Lings now hitting that third expansion. Yep, Queens, they rotate over. They're waddling in. Lacking creep is what I will say. There we go. There's a kill. There's a kill on the main base. Queen's getting called out. No transfuse in time. Yeah, the Queens are caught. More Lings filing in. Nidus does complete. And there's no shield batteries. There's 1 shield battery here at the third base. Lings, they go for the 4th. They will target it down. And behind the SHIN is droning. SHIN, he's droning, taking up into Hydras. The all-in has been successful in a sense. He killed the main base. He killed all the production, all the tech, all the upgrades. He denies the 4th. And Zoun is stuck on 2 bases. He's stuck on 2 bases. He barely has anything to work with here. He has to restart +1, restart charge, restart everything. Actually made 2 Twilight Councils. Ay, ay, ay. Had to make 2. And from here, SHIN just has to contain. Just contain his opponent. Droning up, saturating. Hydras are on the way. And Zoun should never be able to expand here. It's just not going to happen. That's what's spreading more creep. And again, this creep is designed to delay the expansion, to deny any kind of nexus. And these are still slow lots. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this. They're still slow. Zoun is being forced into an all-in. You can see he's throwing down more gateways. Temple Archives. He now recognizes he cannot expand. I mean, he can't still even take his main. There's still creep. SHIN even taking him into a hive. Infestation bit into hive tech, into potentially lurker tech as well. Into the lunkers. There's no lurker den yet. We'll say that. And Zoun's breaking out. Does break out. More creep is spreading in all directions. There's just so many tumors. Oh my god. And there's a lurker den. Lurker den alongside the hive. This is lined up so that you can start to lurker upgrade as soon as the hive is finished. So SHIN, he is getting there. And Zoun doesn't find a way in. And SHIN is going to be the first to max. The first to max out. And again, as a reminder, a lot of this came down to the lack of scouting. Zoun, he failed to check the main base. He failed to scout the lair in time. He was not aware of what SHIN was up to. As I mentioned, so far in this series, every game it's been SHIN reacting to Zoun. Here, Zoun had to be the one to react to SHIN and wasn't quite able to. Wasn't able to confirm what was happening. He was getting into his own build freely. Now, do you see Zoun is taking up into Storm, and he's retaking his main. Like, Zoun, he's turtling up, he's fortifying himself. And the problem is that he can't really move out on the map. He can't really punish the economy of SHIN. SHIN, he's freely getting now a 5th base, getting up to 80 workers. He's got all the hive upgrades on the way. And we're just waiting for the lurkers. Waiting for the lunkers. SHIN is knocking down that front door. Takes down the Cybercore. Storm is done. Storm is complete. Very nice Storm. Oh my god, the Lings get roasted. Cybercore gets saved. Storm is revealed. But again, SHIN wants to trade. He wants to trade because as he bleeds out supply, he can replace it with lurkers. So he wants to lose Lings. He wants to lose Hydras. Oh no, oh no! Oh my god. 2 High Templar go down. Ay, ay, ay. He got 1 Storm off, but now he's down to 2 High Templar. And yeah, no Storms left. We have the attempts around. Only 5 lurkers. Yeah, not enough lurkers here. Zoun, he will hold. He will hold. He cleans up with the lurkers. Again, SHIN, he wasn't able to replace those lurkers in time or build up anymore. And Zoun, he fights well. Does fight well here, but alas, he's running out of steam. SHIN, he starts steps forward. Catching out more of those units. Archons, charge lots. And here they come. He's maxed out again. Getting up to 6 lurkers. Does get up to 6. Yeah, rotates over, denies the expansion. As that's going to be a kill, not a cancel. Ay, ay, ay. Doesn't cancel in time, and now there are Storms ready for this. That's a lot of Storms. And again, they do trade well against the Ling Hydra, but the High Templar, they're forced to morph in. The High Templar, they were pinned down. There's 1 High Templar left, 1 Storm remaining. And lurkers, they're just moving in. They're encroaching upon the bases. Upon Zoun, GG gets called. The writing was on the wall, and SHIN, he will take the series 2-1. He will advance on into the semi-finals. GG. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played. A very intense series, a very intense back and forth. SHIN, he will claim it, but a shout out to Zoun because it was a very, I mean, especially intense game 2. Even game 1, like I will say that Zoun, he was in a better position in game 1. I could 100% see a world where Zoun wins 2-0. But Zoun was too greedy. As a reminder, Zoun, despite forcing the all-in game 1, he was taking a 4th base, he was expanding instead of getting ready to receive the all-in. So Zoun, he was caught out in game 1, which did lead the way of SHIN. Game 2, Zoun caught out SHIN by committing into, from a 9-gate all-in into double Robo, double Colossus production, which was crazy, came out of left field, and SHIN was not able to defend against that. But here, SHIN, it was his turn to be the aggressor initially, by going for the Night Display. And with that, SHIN will advance on, and we have now reached the halfway mark. We've now reached the halfway mark. Here we go, exclamation mark, or as we do search the scenes over and catch up on the bracket itself. Bam! We have our 8 players. We have our 8 invited players here in LiuLi Cup 36. We had Trigger. Trigger takes down Bunny 2-1. SHIN takes down Zoun 2-1, and we have Trigger versus SHIN in the upper semifinals. Scrolling down, we have our next 2 matchups. We have our next 2 competitors here. It's going to be Creator versus GuMiho in a PvT, and Cure versus ByuN in a TvT. So 2 best of 3s remaining here tonight. We are halfway through the broadcast, so we are going to be going on a short break. We're going to be going on a short break here, so take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, and hydrate all your hydras. When we come back, we'll have the second half of the broadcast. We'll have our lower quarterfinal matches. We'll see you soon. We'll see you soon, Pat. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of the broadcast, the second half of the LiuLi Cup 36 day number 1. We just wrapped up with two of our best of threes, two of our quarterfinal matches. We just wrapped up with Bunny versus Trigger and SHIN versus Zoun, and now we have returned. We have returned with our second half with another PvT. Here we go. We have 4 other players to feature here tonight. We have Cure, ByuN, but we also have GuMiho and Creator. Here we go. So we have our TVP, Creator and GuMiho going to be facing off here in this best of 3, and I am, as always, excited. I'm excited to cover these two players. GuMiho, he is a rare sight. Creator, he's more active. Creator, he's a lot more active. He is on that grind. Creator, week after week, he's signing up for the open cups. GuMiho, less so. GuMiho, he has been less active. He isn't as prevalent in the online tournament scene, so he's a rarer sight. So I'm always happy and excited to indulge in some GuMiho action, but here we go. We're jumping into our TVP and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love. We have our South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss. It is Creator. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran. It is GuMiho. Here we go. As we do settle into our fresh best of 3 TVP. And again, coming into this GuMiho, he's a rarer sight, but on top of that, he's also a very unique player. He's very unique. He does often enjoy indulging in mech, for example, against Protoss. He's one of the few that does actually whip mech out. I say one of the few. I think of GuMiho, I think of ByuN as being the 2 most prevalent players and enjoyers of mech in TVP. Not saying they do it every game, but, you know, maybe once in a series, once in a best of 5 sort of thing, or in Home Story Cup, maybe 2 or 3 times in a best of 5. God damn it. Always remember GuMiho versus Showtime in the Home Story Cup. That was like two Home Story Cups ago at this point. All the mech, maybe all the mech. But we'll see how he does approach Creator. Creator, likewise, as I mentioned, has been more active as of late, has been looking to get in form, has been on that grind, with some pretty successful results as well. Not saying that he's able to necessarily claim some of these weekly open cups, but get some good performances, good results, good runs, and takes down some big names in the process as well. I do want to believe that this is going to be a back and forth. So far, actually, every game in this tournament has gone to the ace match. Trigger versus Bunny, and as well as Zoun versus SHIN, they both did go the distance all the way to game 3. We'll see if that trend continues in this matchup as well. For now, it is going to be the CC on the high ground, economic opener out of GuMiho, going for a single gas, racks expand. Meanwhile, Creator back at home, going for his own gate, cyber, nexus as well. So standard opener out of Creator, economic opener out of GuMiho. So far, so good. Oh, yo, shout out to Throwing Hats in the chat. God, baby God, thank you. Thank you for the kind words. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate it, bye. As we're jumping into our first game here. So far, nothing crazy. We have the Reaper poking in, safety shield batteries on the way. We do have a Stalker into Sentry opener here at a Creator, and again, Sentry openers are very common nowadays in this matchup. They're very common. The reasoning for this is the most recent change to the energy overcharge. With the energy overcharge, that means extra energy on the Sentry, which means hallucination scouts. Hallucination scouts are a lot more common. There it is. We have the energy overcharge, hallucinations being sent across the map, and Creator, he will see everything that GuMiho's up to, or at least he should. Meanwhile, we have our tech of choice. Interesting. Not a Stargate, not a Twilight Council, Robo opener out of Creator. Now the Reaper pokes in, the Reaper does not confirm the tech, does not confirm the production. Again, this tech of choice is a very safe way to play. Very safe opener here by Creator. Hallucination dives in, Hallucination confirms the CC, and confirms the 111. On top of that, gets eyes on the add-ons, confirms the tech lab on the factory, the reactor on the racks. Spots all the bio. With this, he knows that there is no mine drop, for example, so there's no Widow mine drop. This is actually a very early tank, and this looks like an early tank push out of GuMiho. My apologies, I was focusing on the safe play here of Creator, and very nice call. This is what makes this build so safe, this tech structure so safe. Early Immortals. Instead of going into Phoenixes or Oracles or Blink Stalkers, early Immortals are ideally what you want against early aggression, and that's exactly what we're getting. Remember, the tank is already here, so very early tank production out of GuMiho, most likely looking and planning to go for an early tank push. The problem here is he got scouted. He got scouted. He also doesn't really know what he's moving into, so we'll see if he commits. We do have the Raven on the way. We have Interference Matrix as well. This is very old school. Okay. You have my attention. Now, I was going to say this could be a fake out. No, this should be real. We have another tank early on as well. This is going to be a very committed, very early push. This is very like 2022, like for 2022 meta of StarCraft. It's very old school. I say old school. A couple of years ago, basically, back in the day, back a couple of years ago in the meta of Robo Colossus based openers, this was the go-to. And Hallucination does confirm this. Hallucination does see the researching tech lab, as well as the Raven as well. But the reason for this, previously in the meta, Robo Openers into Colossus was the meta, and these Raven timings would completely shut down the Colossus Openers because you'd be able to disable Interference Matrix to Colossus, and then you just stim, and you win. Like, it was very decisive, and it was the meta for a number of years, actually, at least until this change happened. Until Interference Matrix was nerfed, and now it became an upgrade. That was not always the case. It used to just come with the Raven. Meanwhile, Creator, he does push out. So Bay is on the way for the Colossus, does take his third expansion. I'm a little bit concerned with Creator being a little bit too proactive here, as his army is vulnerable and very immobile as well. Does go for charge as a follow-up, building up more Immortals. Prism is on the way. And we'll see when GuMiho breaks out. As for now, he's up to 3 Colossus. He does get out of Colossus production. Stim is on the way. Prism into the main. The Immortal is revealed. Oh, there's a disable 1 second too late. Aye. For those that are curious, if the disable was 1 second earlier, the Immortal would not have been lifted. Would not have been lifted, and that would have been the death of the Immortal. So nice save there from Creator. It does lift in time. Oh. And with that, Creator just picking up a couple of Marines. Not losing anything yet. Third CC is revealed. GuMiho, he is expanding. He does not push out with his early tank or his early Raven production even. Raven is on the way across the map for some harass. And I would say the Creator's in a better position here. He's in a better position. He has a full third base saturation. From here, he can get a fourth base, getting into Colossus. GuMiho, despite building up his army early on, he's not doing anything with it. Getting a third CC. Oh, but I say that, so GuMiho does break out with a double drop. He does break out. Stim is about to finish. Creator is somewhat in position. Yeah, there we go. He has his Colossus. He should be okay. GuMiho does Stim into the mineral line. Oh! Force Field does slow him down. GuMiho focuses down 2 probes. And he should be able to get away. Remember, there is no blink. But the Sword Crusader do get some hits in there on the medevac. Does get away. Medevac pulls out. Not the worst trade here from GuMiho. Behind this third CC being taken, and he is building up into Vikings, into more tanks. Oh, sorry, into Vikings, into Marauders, as he does reposition his tanks. He's building up, and Creator takes a fourth. And this is why I do feel like Creator's in a better position. He's not just fully saturated on 3 bases, he can now freely get his 4th base up and running, enjoying his Colossus as it builds up over time. This is the other strength of a Robo Opener. It means early Colossus production. I was concerned about the Raven timing of GuMiho and potential like just Interference Matrix timing, but that never really came into play. It didn't really factor in, which surprised me, as typically you'd research it for a reason for that move out, for that timing, and GuMiho didn't quite make use of it. Being more defensive back at home. Setting up. Setting up. As GuMiho is done building up, he's now going to be pushing. He does have a terrifying army. Again, like this entire game has been building up his forces over time. Now into, I would say, an army supply lead. Does have his tanks, his Raven, of course. He can disable the Colossus. As he moves out, Prism moves in. Going to be harassing. Does dive in, gets into the mineral line. SCV's going to be going down. Oh, prison does fall. Nice pickup. Yeah, the prism is dealt with. But this does actually pull GuMiho all the way back home. So now Creator, he's that much safer. He's that much safer. He's building up here on 4 bases. Taking his gases. Up to 3 Colossus. Disruptor's now well underway. Second Robo's on the way as well. Creator's army becoming that much more terrifying. But I still want to give credit here to the Raven and to the potential that the Sable has. There it goes up. Creator coming in for a flank. Nova does not connect. Nice split there by GuMiho. And GuMiho does engage well. Going for the Colossus. Will bring it down. Yeah, the Vikings, they go to town. Oh, they barely don't get it. He has to pull back. 1 tank falls. Oh, and another tank as well. GuMiho getting pulled apart a little bit here. The tank does pull away in time. Oh, has a brutal connection. GuMiho distracted by the Zealot run by. Nova does connect. 14 SCV. Oh my god. 14 SCV kills. Yeah, 14 SCVs. Zealots, they do wreak havoc. And GuMiho, he races back home to defend. He will clean this up. But remember, this is only a handful of Zealots. And more Zealots trickling in. 17 SCVs. And Creator, he holds. He holds, he defends. He did lose 1 Colossus in the defense, but he saves everything else. And GuMiho's hurting. GuMiho, he's hurting, he's in trouble. Creator getting a 5th expansion. Not like this. Not like this. GuMiho is just stuck at home, fortifying himself. Is stuck defending. Likewise, we do get eyes on the 4th expansion. Creator, he's maxed out. He weathered the storm. He's got how much? He's got, what, 4 Disruptors, 3 Colossus. Yeah, he's just breaking him through. Nice target firing. Oh, disable on the Colossus. Disable pops off. Oh, the Novas, they connect. Lack of splits, but he doesn't split. And as GuMiho defends on the Silvermine, thankfully does have a planetary in position. Creator, he bled out a lot there trying to break that siege line. But he has a massive bank. He's got 2,000 minerals. He's got almost 1,000 gas. There we go, warping in 6 Dark Templar. It was a big investment. We'll see what he can get. He's going for the planetary. Turrets on the way. There is going to be detection. This is an expensive run by here for Creator. Very expensive. Does spot the turret. Rotates back around. EMPs, they do blanket the army. Nice EMPs out of GuMiho. Oh. DTs, they get spotted. They blink away. Liberation has arrived. Again, GuMiho is stuck at home defending, but so far he is holding. And Creator, what does he do with this map control? He's not just taking bases, but he can decide to take up. He can throw down a Fleet Peak and a Stargate, start working towards Skytoss, or a 3rd Robo. A 3rd Robo just for additional production if he needs it. Extra upgrades. Creator, he has options. But he should be trading. Remember, Creator, he has a bank. He has a massive bank. He needs to trade to actually make use of that bank. The mineral bank, at least. Mainly referring to Zealot run bys. As the DCs don't find much damage. Creator rotating back over. There's that Stargate, so he's thinking about Skytoss. I do think this could have been a little bit sooner, but it's still on the way nonetheless. Is still on the way. GuMiho being active. Creator, he does miss. Oh, he does miss the mid until now. He knows. He does see. Creator, he's out of position. Bottom right is exposed. GuMiho is going for it. And he should force a cancel. Yeah, it just takes so long for Creator to respond. There's a cancellation on the expansion. But Creator, can he catch the army? Uh-oh. Here come the Novas. Here come the Novas. Oh, Novas, they pop off. 1 does connect. We get a couple of connections, but so many disruptors go down. Ay, 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 that was what? 6 disruptors falling? Yeah, that was not the fight for Creator. He lost how many? 5. 5 disruptors went down. DTs that collapse in. Trying to catch out the army. This time he will be able to. Force the lift. Full medevac goes down. Creator just keeps on pushing. He keeps going. And has he done it? Has he broken GuMiho? Takes out the bunker. Blinks on forward. Takes down the Liberators as well. The Stalkers are exposed. And he has done it. GG gets called. GuMiho is broken. And Creator, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Creator, it was a messy fight. He did lose all of his disruptors in that first engage, but regardless, he still was able to overwhelm. He was able to catch out that army and snowball into a win. Whew, GG, well played. Was messy, was not the cleanest of final fights, but Creator does take it. GuMiho, unfortunately, had no reinforcements back at home. He lost the majority of his forces in the bottom right, and that leads us here into game number 2. And we'll see if GuMiho can bounce back. We'll see if Creator can keep this going. Again, it was a very unorthodox game just because of the opener of GuMiho, where he built up a large army. And remember, he eventually moved out and he got dragged back home. There was a massive zealot run by that killed 17 SCVs. That was the moment where Creator secured himself with a lead, was when he got across the map, got 17 SCV kills, and that also forced GuMiho to turn around. If you remember, that was also the moment where GuMiho was distracted and he took a massive Nova to the face. And Creator, he never quite lost that lead. But now we're getting into game 2. And spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines, we have our red Protoss player. We have our South Green Protoss leading the series 1-0. It is Creator. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the South Green Terran player. The blue Terran, it is GuMiho. And yo, shout out to Toppin and the papi ga. Good to see you, papi. Good to see you. Bienvenidos. Good to see you, Toppin. An old school, passionate figure of the community from years gone by. Hope you're doing well. Este Toppin. So now we do have a Creator settling in back at home. Now, as a reminder, last game we did have a robo opener. Always lurking. Always lunking, papi. Good to see you. I don't know if you saw Toppin, but we had the HSL recently. We had the Hispanic StarCraft League. It was really nostalgic seeing everyone come back. Like Chamaco, Juanito, Huevito, Tavito, Tavo, Eggs, Zions, Bombilla. It was great to see some old faces coming back again for the HSL. Big thanks for the casting. Always on. Oh, siempre, papi, siempre. Always online. That's all we do. Yeah, Vortex was there, mate. Vortex popped off. It was crazy. Yeah, HSL was a blast. Hope you enjoyed as well. Here we go, we're settling into our second game. Just winding it back, I was just referring to the fact that Creator last game did open up Robo. It was a very safe opener out of Creator. Robo opener led into early Immortals and early Colossus production. We'll see if he does go for the same or if he does deviate into a different tech structure. We could see Robo, Twilight Council, or Stargate. And there it is, Twilight Council out of Creator. So something more standard, something more normal this time. Twilight Council should be for Blink, and from here we can go 2-gate Blink, 3-gate Blink, or 4-gate Blink Stalker. So Creator, he has options with how aggressive he wants to be with this. Meanwhile, back at home, GuMiho going for his CC on the high ground. Just an economic opener out of GuMiho, but safe as well. Going to be floating over his CC to that natural location. So again, we had a bit of an uncomfortable and awkward start in game 1, but now coming into game 2, things are looking a little bit more standard. I say that early tech lab on this factory. Interesting. Now this can be into fast cyclone production. We go into really fast cyclones. This can also lead into fast tank production as well. Ooh, speaking of, this does scream tank drop. This does scream hyper aggression from GuMiho. So tank is on the way. This should lead into a medevac, into a tank drop across the map. If you remember, I did assume something similar last game, and we saw a tech lab into Raven instead. So technically, GuMiho can deviate into Ravens, I suppose, but this should be for a medevac. Ooh, and this gets fully scouted. Yeah, there it is. Medevac is on the way. Tank drop. So very early tank drop, very early push across the map from GuMiho. Creator, he does not see the tech lab. He has an idea, he saw the 1-1-1, but he only has a piece of the puzzle. Not seeing the tech lab is huge. But now Creator going into Blink. He is going into he's going 2-gate Blink into a third. This is ideal for GuMiho. Yeah, Creator, he's rushing into a third base. This is very greedy here by our South Korean Protoss. This is a misread, and GuMiho is pushing. Here we go, he's waiting for the second tank. Hyper aggression from GuMiho. This should at least deny the third, but this can do even more than that. Basically, what's happening here is that Creator, he skips his third gateway. So that means less warp-ins. Less warp-ins, a smaller army to defend. And GuMiho should deal damage with this, as he does boost across the map. Now remember, these are vanilla Marines. They're vanilla Marines, they have no stim, no combat shields, 0 upgrades on these Marines. It's all about the tanks. It's all about protecting and preserving these tanks. It does get spotted. Tanks are moving in. They're going for the gateway. Blink is done. Marines out of position, and the first tank does go down. Massive pickoff. He gets one tank. Can he get the other? No shot. Gets both tanks. That should not have happened. The Marines that were too far behind, they should have been in front of the tanks to protect them. And with that, GuMiho, he will fail to do damage here. He trades with the Stalkers, that is true, but these are only Marines left. Boys are being pulled. 2 Stalkers remaining. We are getting some economic damage. But this means the third base is safe. The third base is safe. The production is safe as well. 7 probe kills. I mean, still good damage, don't get me wrong. But GuMiho, he needs to do damage with this. He needs more. As he gets 8 probes. Oh, gets another Stalker. Not bad. GuMiho, he's just rallying everything across the map. He's just sending it, Pappy. He commits 11 probes. Not bad. He gets 11 probe kills. Trades with the Stalkers. That was how many Stalkers? That was 6 Stalkers going down as well. Another Stalker falls, more boys being pulled. And even though this is maybe best case scenario for Creator, it still does crippling damage. Still gets 11 workers. And you know what's crazy? The worker counts are still in favor of Creator. It shows how far ahead he is economically because of that third Nexus. So Creator still maintains a higher worker count. A third TC is on the way for GuMiho to try to catch back up. Creator, he attempts a counterattack. He wants those tanks. Let's see, we'll lose the Observer. Observer goes down, more Stalkers taking a lot of damage. And Creator, he just wants the tanks. He wants them. Oh no, he overextends. Yeah, big overextension. The Immortal is going to go down. Yeah, that was not worth of a Creator. He just threw away his Immortal. Doesn't get the tank. Nice positioning here by GuMiho. He gets away. Does get away. Gets another Observer as well. And as the dust settles, where exactly are we? So Creator, he has to rebuild all those workers he lost. That was 11 probe kills. He lost an Immortal, lost 9 Stalkers. Expensive losses here for Creator. You can see the efficiency here. You can see how well GuMiho traded in comparison. And GuMiho is getting his own third. GuMiho is in a better position. Getting his own third base. At this stage of the game, Creator should need a fourth, but he can't really afford it as he's still stabilizing. We go. I think the Immortal shot the Stalker. There was some infighting going on. Yes, there was. Creator, there was some panic happening. Unfortunately, there was a lot of panic happening in these past couple of moments. Take a breath, Pappy. Take a breath. Creator, he has to pull away. Behind this, working into his own bay, into his own forge, into upgrades. But again, like the lead that Creator would have had here is not quite there. Now he's taking a fourth, but the fourth base is late. So late fourth base here for Creator. He scouts, he confirms the production here. We have Mass Marauder on the way, 1-1 upgrades as well. And we'll see if Creator can recover. Now, he does have ways to do this. If GuMiho is too passive, or if he does bleed out some drops, if he's too aggressive, he gets caught with his pants down. There are ways here for Creator to bounce back. Likewise, Zealot run by, Zealot drops, Zealot counterattack, it's true. but the pressure is on Creator. Pressure is on. As GuMiho, he is stripping map control away from Creator. At least attempting to. Fourth CC is on the way as Creator is finishing up his own fourth. So GuMiho is still maintaining his economy. Uh-oh, speaking of, the transfer does get spotted. GuMiho going for the auto turrets. It does like some mining. Gets a probe kill, drops here into the natural. More probes going to be going down. Getting up to 4. And Creator's only being active. Sorry, GuMiho's only being active to clear up all these zealots. To clear up the spotter units. As zealots had to fan out. Fusion cores on the way. GuMiho getting into his final form, working towards Liberators and Liberator range. And Creator, he still needs time to recover. He's now getting to Colossus. From here, we should be seeing Disruptors. At the moment, he can only afford 1 robot at a time, but we should soon be able to get another robot up and running once the fourth base gets saturated. We're getting there. It's building up. We see GuMiho is searching for observers, as the Raven is still across the map. So Ramai does run into the depots, into the bunker. GuMiho, he defends well. And GuMiho is just waiting for his upgrades, waiting for 2-2 specifically and for his Liberators, as Liberator production has begun. And unfortunately, right now, Creator, he has no good answer to these Liberators. He has some Stalkers, he has 8 Stalkers in total, which is not a lot. We can see Creator going into Storm, not going into Disruptors. Interesting. So Storm is on the horizon. Auto starts popping off once again. Getting another 4 probes. So armies, they do dance with each other. Bearing in mind that GuMiho, he does leave all of his tanks back at home. He does leave his reinforcements back at home as well. This is only a portion of GuMiho's army. Just poking in. The Liberators, they don't join up with the main army though. They go across the map instead. Oh, they attempt to harass. Going for the 4th. First Liberator does fall. This is a brutal position though. Stalkers, they get shut down. GuMiho moving in. And this time he moves in with the tanks, even throwing down turrets in the center of the map. Jesus. Oh my god. Does attempt to set up turrets. Stimming in. Massive EMP. EMP pops off. Snipes as well. Again, that is the danger of going into high tempo like this. You are vulnerable to those EMPs. He's now mixing in a couple of Disruptors, getting all 3 forms of splash damage. Liberation still has control of this. 7 workers do go down. Did have the attempted nuke as that Ghost. Doing what he can. Killing robes, to be fair. Just getting workers. The tanks and turrets are going to be cleaned up. But GuMiho, he can try to catch out the army. He does engage. Nice EMPs. Zealots, they go down. Colossus have to get the hell out of here. Oh, nice. Very nice. Oh my, the storm. Oh my, he stays in the storms. Oh my god. The storms are brutal. He does take down 2 Colossus, but was that worth it? At the same time, I mean, probes have been falling. 16 in total. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, I guess he can heal up the Marauders. They can take some storms to the face. Creator trying to rebuild, making more disruptors. And GuMiho, you might just be far enough ahead where you can afford some of these losses and some of these trades. Another nuke is on the way. GuMiho double expanding, getting top left and the center base as well. And GuMiho, he's the first to remax. He's the first to remax. What do we have to defend? We have 1 Colossus, 3 Disruptors, and 0 Storm. 0 Storm left here for Creator. He has no High Templar. That was one of those moments where you throw down storms to force your opponent to back off, and your opponent just keeps going. And you're like, oh my god. You're like, he's crazy. You just keep storming, and he just stands in everything. And he kills you while he's doing it. Like, that's... it's crazy. It's crazy. GuMiho, he feels no pain. He just tanks all the storms. From here, more liberation has arrived. Oh, never goes up. Oh, catches 2 ghosts, not bad. Getting another ghost is 3 ghosts going down. 3 ghosts do fall. GuMiho has 2 nukes in the pocket, in the back line, ready to use. Using the Zoun, using the harass. Once again, Creator diving in, breaks through that line. Oh my god, another connection. And Creator, he has been trading well. Like, these Novas, they've been popping off. So the economy is what's really hurting him here. Creator, you can see, is broke. He's at 3 base saturation, 62 workers. He needs another expansion, needs more probes. Now moving in once again. The Nova does not connect. Yeah, this time Trouble gets targeted down. More liberation has arrived. The freedom forcing him back. Yeah, and GuMiho is overwhelming. There's 4 Colossus, yes, but that's all there really is here. As GuMiho, he's making 6 Liberators at a time. That's a lot of freedom. That's a lot of liberation. Ah. So GuMiho does move in, dust him. Once again, turning back the army. Creator can just keep on pushing. Denies mining from the high ground. Meanwhile, we have 8 Liberators here for GuMiho. And he just ignores it. He just ignores the army. We're going for the base trade. We're going for the base trade. Does hit the 3rd. Creator at the same time pushing in towards the 3rd base of GuMiho. Bearing in mind, Creator can always recall. Links in. Takes down the tank. And we're sending it across the map. It's all or nothing. Back at home, boys are being pulled. Oh my, there's so many Liberators. Yeah, defensive Liberators that will slow down the army. That will buy time. GuMiho moving further in. And how does Creator push? He can't. There's even more libs. How many? 12. Soon to be 15. Oh, god. Does blink in. It's going to be brutal. So many Stalkers go down. Jesus, as they do break through the first line of the Liberators, but there's 4 more behind this, and more Stalkers fall. At the same time, GuMiho busts into the main. The Liberators are finally going to be dealt with. Creator pushing in. Pushing towards the main. Likewise, GuMiho does some reinforcements towards that center expansion. And the problem here is that there's just still so many bases, so many planetaries, CCs up and running. Production is under fire. And he does pick off a couple of Liberators, not bad. 2 more Liberators go down. GuMiho, he has no other production out there. What you see is what you get. Creator, he can still win this game. Oh no! But Liberators, they do get away. They do escape. More Raxes being thrown down. Yeah, we have backup production. 4 Raxes in production here. And a CC. And at this point, GuMiho should turn around. I say turn around, he's still going. He's just, of course, just coming into the base trade. Cashing out more workers, more bases. Creator, he does evacuate bottom right, and top left. Does have a hidden gas geyser. He has gases, he saves more probes. Meanwhile, GuMiho, he has more bases himself, more planetaries. And Creator, he still has a mining base. Just 0 production. There's no gateways, no robo. Creator moving in. Does force his way forward. Takes down the Liberators, but he's trading out Stalkers, and GuMiho, he is racing back. Oh, where are we going? Does he go home? I feel like he could, to be honest. I think this army can clean up these Colossus. Especially with the support of these planetaries, but no, he just keeps going, finds the mining base. We'll bring it down, but there's still another Nexus top left. Planetary does try to target down the Colossus. Doesn't quite get it. Probes are caught out. The production also is being camped. True. Very important here. Production goes down. But GuMiho... never mind. I just assumed that everything in the main was killed, but GuMiho still has Raxes. Still has production. Mass scans. Gets eyes on the bases. GuMiho knows. The planetary falls. GuMiho setting up in the center. Creator, he does spot the army. Creator, he does turn around. Looking for a fight. And depending on the angle, Creator, could he pull this off? Oh, gets a ghost. Oh, not quite. Not quite. Does cloak massive EMPs. Oh god, oh god. And Creator does move into a concave. GuMiho is ready for this. Yeah, he stims in. Does get one Colossus. He gets one. Takes out the Immortals. Goes for another Colossus. GG gets called. And GuMiho, he will come out on top. He will tie the series 1-1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. GuMiho, he will claim it. Again, GuMiho, he did have the larger army. He had the greater economy. GuMiho, he was in a better position in the base trade, which is why, if you remember, GuMiho, he initiated the base trade. Like, everything was just in favor of GuMiho. For Creator, it was damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, it's either, like, the base trade was probably the best chance for Creator to win that game, just because of how far behind he was. And he was able to get some bases, that is true, but there were just so many planetaries to work through, so much Terran to work through. In the end, GG. GG, well played. That leads us here into the ace match, into game number 3. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss. Being forced into the ace match, we'll see if we can bring it back. It is Creator. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, tying up the series 1-1, forcing the ace match. It is GuMiho. Oh, hello, Wing Zero Type. Thank you for your relentless casting. Like, you're welcome, Papi. We do what we can. We do what we can. Thank you, thank you. Do appreciate it. We appreciate the support, always, always. Again, we're live every day here on the CranKy Ducklings, twice a day as well. Later on this evening, we're gonna be casting the Rex April Madness. That is gonna be in like 9 hours, I want to say. Hold on. Yeah, so in 9 hours time, we're gonna be live with the Rex April Madness. But for now, of course, we are live with the LiuLi Cup. All the content, all the StarCraft. Let's go, let's go. As always, as always. But yeah, it's been an intense back and forth, and we have seen some differing builds so far. Now, as a reminder, winding it back, game 1, Creator did open Robo. He went for a Robo opener into a very safe build, and he was able to come out on top and able to kind of punish the aggression of GuMiho. Game 2, we saw Creator do the exact opposite. Creator, he went for a very greedy opener. As a reminder, he went 2-gate blink into a 3rd Nexus, whereas GuMiho basically went for a 2-base all-in. He rushed into early tanks into a double tank drop across the map early on, and GuMiho GuMiho, he crippled Creator. He was able to get so many probe kills. He sniped the Immortals, sniped Stalkers as well. We did see like a shaky defense out of Creator where he was attacking some of his own units. Like he was panicking clearly in that kind of game state. But GuMiho, he was able to gain a lead from there. And we'll see what kind of extremes we get in Game 3. Game 1, Creator was hyper safe. Game 2, hyper greedy. Game 3, we're on Whispers of Gold. We should be playing safe here on this map. Whispers of Gold is known for aggression, known for early game move outs, and known for having very rough defenses here at the 3rd and 4th base. This map is very small, short rush distance by ground, and also very exposed 3rd base locations as well. So we'll see where our players take us. As Creator, he has his tech of choice, going for a Twilight Council opener. Twilight Council into Blink. Ooh, meanwhile, do you see what I see? That is a second Rax. Okay, so GuMiho is going to be hyper aggressive this game. That is a Rax before Starport. Now, this could be one of two things. This could be a 2-on-1, which is not unheard of in TVP, or this could be a 3-1-1 instead. Regardless, much more aggressive, much more assertive here from GuMiho. Now, this does hit later than the previous game. Remember, game 2, we saw early tanks into an early tank drop. This will hit a little bit later. This will hit with stim instead. Yep, 2-1-1. So it's going to be a 2-1-1. Here with this Rax, we should be seeing a tech lab into early stim, into early marine production, into an early stim move out. Here we go. So again, this is it's a tech lab, yep, as we mentioned, into stim. As we mentioned, this is a bit of a rarer build in TVP, not unheard of. We have seen ByuN, we have seen Maru do this as well. This is a very fun build to mix in and to sprinkle into a series, but there are some pros and there are some cons. Now, the pro here is it's hyper aggressive and it can catch your opponent off guard, it can wreak havoc, it can do critical damage early on. This is all true. The downside is that this build does delay tank production. Heavily delayed tank production here, because as you can see, it's going to be early Widowmine. I was going to stay into a reactor, into an add-on swap. Never mind, it's going to be a tech lab instead. So this is a 2-on-1 with what looks to be tank support. Interesting. But what I was going to say is that usually it delays tank production, which means you are vulnerable to 4-gate Blink Stalker or 3-gate Blink Stalker. Speaking of, gateways are being thrown down, and it is 3-gate Blink. But as we can see here, we don't go for the reactor. Usually we would see a reactor into add-on swap into more medevacs for the double medevac drop across the map, but this is a different variation into early tanks instead. No add-on on the starport because we open up mine drop. So yeah, there are layers here to this build. There's definitely a lot going on. But this, because we're going for the first mine drop, it means that we can make that second starport in time with the stim. Second medevac, meant to say. Second medevac in line with stim. First drop comes in. Creator, he does pull away. We're losing one probe so far. GuMiho, he cannot afford to lose this medevac because it's going to be a big factor into the next push, into the next wave. Mine shot goes off. Oh my god. Jesus. Gets 2 probes. And the medevac does escape. And again, this is going to be crucial here when it comes to that follow-up timing here, as GuMiho, he moves out with 1 full medevac of Marines. And here comes that second half of the army. It's going to be how many? It's going to be 17 Marines in total, 2 tanks with stim. Medevac joins up with the main army. And GuMiho is setting up for a surround. Setting up for a flank. There we go, dust him in. Going for the prism. Prism is going to go down. Massive pickup, but the tank is exposed. Oh, a bit of a give and take. Prism goes down for the tank. Meanwhile, second tank has arrived. Creator, he does want that tank. He's going for it, and it looks like he will get it as well. Massive pickup. Oh my god. Just barely does get it. And I would say this favors Creator. Yeah, Creator, he takes out both tanks, takes down the Marines, takes down the medevacs. GuMiho, he's in trouble. His stim timing failed. He did not get across the map. He ran into Creator. As we mentioned, this build is weaker against 4-gate and 3-gate Blink, which happens to be what Creator was doing. And Creator now in a better position. Now that timing, that push, it leads to nothing. Oh my god, takes out the medevac. Medevac goes down. Tank goes down as well. One more volley. It is a trade. It is a brutal trade, but Creator, he can afford it. Nice hopping a micro here from GuMiho. Does kite back. Prism has been rebuilt. Now we have counter micro here by Creator. Oh my god. Yeah, 2 Marines left, down to 1, down to 0. 0 Marines. Oh no, the medevac! No! Oh my god, it goes down. And that may just be game. That may just be game then and there. There's nothing left. There's 3 Marines now getting up to 4. Sure, they have stim, but we have control here. We have blink. We have the prism as well. And this is getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand, getting out of control. I appreciate the build out of GuMiho. It was crazy. It was wild. It was very quirky, but unfortunately it fell on its face. GG gets called. Creator, he shuts it down, and Creator will take the series 2-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played, Creator. He will claim the series. I don't blame GuMiho for pushing. Like, remember, his build, it was all about that stim timing. So once stim finished, he had his 2 tanks, he moved out, but he ran into the 3-gate Blink Stalker army of Creator. It was a gamble there from GuMiho. As we saw, Creator, he did invest into the prism, so he was committing into Blink Stalker aggression, and the armies, they ran into each other. And there was a nice moment where GuMiho was able to snipe the War Prism. True, did snipe the prism, but he lost 2 tanks in the process. Like, it was not worth it at all. That was the backbone of GuMiho's army. Because of that, his timing failed. He didn't get across the map. He wasn't able to make use of the army. GG. GG, well played. It was almost as if GuMiho, he was kind of like cut off at his knees before he could really kind of like, you know, get the race going. And GG, well played. Creator, he does claim it. He does advance on over GuMiho, but a very intense and very back and forth series. And what I appreciate the most out of this best of 3 was the variety in builds. The variety in builds here from both sides, from both GuMiho and from Creator as well. It was very dynamic, a lot of fun. I don't think we saw like a standard, like a proper standard, quote unquote standard TVP in any of these games. GG. Oh, GG, well played. And yo, a shout out to Wing Zero type in the chat. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime. We do appreciate the support. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the emotes. Hope you enjoy the replay packs. We do provide replay packs to our subscribers, so you can tune into some of these matches yourself, or even learn from them, or even cast them if you wish. So thank you. Thank you so much for the support as we do wrap up our next series, and we have 1 best of 3 remaining. Oh boy. We have 1 best of 3 left. Up next, we do have a best of 3 TBT between Cure and ByuN. Let's go. So we have our mirror matchup here, the one and only one of the broadcast. And we're jumping to game 1. Now, Cure and ByuN, they often go back and forth. They often go back and forth. 1 week it'd be ByuN, another week it'd be Cure. They do trade, and this could even be a short one as well. These 2 animals are not afraid to proxy each other time and time again. It's actually I'm ready for it. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Ley Lines, we have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the other South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. As I do fix up their teams, I do apologize. It is Cure. Whew, let's go. Let us go, as we do have our initial openers here. It's going to be Rax first out of Cure. It's going to be Gas into Rax from ByuN. So slight variation here in the early game. Cure going to be settling into his double gas opener, of course. With this, it's going to be a faster factory into a delayed CC. So a much more aggressive start out of Cure. I say aggressive. You can take this as more aggressive or safe. If ByuN was going for a proxy, Rax here, then Cure would completely shut it down with the faster factory. I mentioned before that these 2 players are not afraid to cheese each other, they're not afraid to proxy mid-series, so if ByuN was doing that, Cure would be looking in a much better position. Instead, ByuN playing economically. So ByuN going for the factory, going for the Rax into the CC on the low ground, economic start. So do settle in. He doesn't sleep, he doesn't eat. He's what we need. Haha, let's go. Este garlic beats. I do look forward to I look forward to May. We should be having some half days off in May to get some rest. I look forward to it. Because we've been casting so much, I have been a little bit overwhelmed by VODs, like editing VODs and scheduling VODs. I'm falling a little bit behind, which is what I'm going to be doing right after this. Like right after the cast, I'm going to go straight to editing VODs. I think right now I'm up to Monday of this week. I think I'm up to Sparkling Tuna Cup. That's it. Up to Sparkling Tuna Cup, which was on Sunday. So I have to work through all the casts of the week. I'll catch up. And then bam, straight into casting later on tonight is the plan. Yes, thank you. Meanwhile, as we said, Linsis, as we mentioned, ByuN has a faster CC. CC's almost done. Cure, his own is getting up to halfway done back at home. So ByuN has the greater economic start. Behind this, we do see Cure with the faster factory into faster factory production, opening up Widow Mine. Okay, interesting. You don't often see Widow Mine based openers here in TVT. This is more designed to catch units out in the open. We'll see how he does bring this all together. Show us what you got. As ByuN is securing himself, bearing in mind no SCV scout from ByuN, no SCV scout from Cure. The Reapers do stay at home as well. The thing about TVT is that it is so risky moving out with your first Reaper and your first 2 Reapers, because you could be running into, Hellion Reaper of your opponent instead. You don't know what you're walking into. So in TVT, it is standard to stay at home. It is standard to turtle in the early game and to just mind your own business and just make sure you're secure. ByuN across the map, getting to his own eventual 3-1-1 setup. Early tank into early Raven into eventually tank production. So bio tank. Likewise, Cure doing the same. We are headed in the same direction. We just got there in different ways. Interference matrix is being researched. Meanwhile, ByuN goes for the add-on swap. No interference matrix. Bold move. Bold move here by ByuN. Ravens are a big part of TVT, and ByuN instead goes for a faster second racks. So add-on swap, fast stim. I mean, this is ByuN for you. ByuN, he's very fond of having a more active style in TVT, so he's going into fast stim, into bio tank. Meanwhile, Cure, he's playing more standard, going into a more tank and more positional heavy composition with the Ravens and with the interference matrix. I mean, this is why we love casting ByuN in TVT, just because he is a little more active and he does go for a lot of drop play, and he does, go for a lot of dives with his bio. As we get into game 1, a big shout to Turbo Quacker in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Turbo Quacker, for the gifted sub in the community. Gifted sub to Icecar. Oh my god. Big shout out Icecar, of course. He is a Portuguese. He's a Brazilian StarCraft 2 admin, and also does work behind the scenes, puts in a lot of work into StarCraft. So big shout out to Turbo Quacker, and I'm sure Icecar will enjoy the gifted sub. So thank you so much. Do appreciate it. Always, Matthew, always. Yeah. Icecar, a good friend of the channel. Good friend. As ByuN is getting his 3rd CC on location, building up more bio. Cure going for a 2nd starport. This you don't see too often anymore, but this looks like a 2-port 2-base all-in. Basically, the purpose of this 2nd starport is to have a massive lead in Viking. So we're going for a mass Viking production behind this. This is a new variation. So this used to be mass Viking into Liberator, but this is going to be mass Viking with Raven support into a 3rd CC. So this shouldn't be a 2-base all-in, but this is still hyper aggressive here from Cure. Here we go, Cure, he's pushing, is moving out. Again, Cure, he will have the Viking lead. ByuN getting his 3rd CC on location is so greedy, and it's about to be punished. Cure, he's on the way.
Our SCVs are under attack.
Still rallying across the map. We'll lose a couple of workers. He's still rallying his Vikings out as well. And this is going to be a tough hold here for ByuN. Dust him in. Tanks to siege. It's going to be on ByuN to zone away those Ravens. Does get up, barely not a tank. 2 Marines go down. But nice moves there from ByuN. He does force the siege further back. He's delaying the push. He's buying more time for reinforcements. Vikings have arrived. There's a scan. Here come the Ravens. ByuN, he's aware. He has to zone those Ravens away, but alas, tanks, they push in. Here come the Mass Disables. And ByuN, he will save. Oh, barely save the tanks. Oh my god. Nice moves. He does save them. He pulls away. Hot pickup. 1 tank still goes down. And the third base is under fire. The third base is going to fall. Yeah, there's no escaping this. It's going to go down. Massive pickoff. ByuN was just too greedy. And that's going to be a kill on the command center. Likewise, Q just forcing his way forward. And this is just a 2-4-2 base all in. Just rallying across the map, breaking through that defensive line. Goes down to the auto turrets. Getting on top of the tanks. The Vikings, they land. And they clean up every single tank. ByuN down to 2 bases. I mean, ByuN still has a better economy. The boys are being pulled. Remember, this isn't all in. Vikings, they land in time. They protect the tanks. More SCVs going to be falling. That's going to be a lot of economic damage. Oh my god. And that's going to be 13 SCV kills. Oh my god, the friendly fire! I say, the splash damage, I should say. Getting up to 19 SCVs. Yeah, 19 workers go down. And ByuN, in a way, he's kind of holding on here, but that has been critical damage. Behind this cure, he starts Stim. Again, Stim is very late, just because this was a big, big emphasis here on the Vikings. On the tank push. Cure backs off, third CC's on the way. And ByuN, he has no third base. Not anymore. And now the pressure's on ByuN to counterattack. ByuN is making 7 Marines at a time. ByuN, he has potential with Stim. Valkyrie sieged up. He's sieged up here at the third. There is an opening towards the natural, true. There is an opening. Likewise, potentially into the main as well. Vikings, they shut down one of the Vikings does get shut down. ByuN rage. Oh no! Oh my god, losing a medevac as well. Yeah, Curie spots him, getting in position. And this is looking bleak here for ByuN. It's not looking good. Does get 1 tank. Gets 1 tank. Liberation has arrived. This is the power of 2-port play. Fast Liberators. And they trade so well here. 1 Liberator falls, but last he defends. He defends. He secures his position. Here, he will not let ByuN pass. And remember, ByuN, he's essentially 2 base all in. There is no expansion. ByuN going for the drop on the Vikings. Oh my god. Medevac goes down. Both medevacs go down. And the Vikings will land. And Cure, he will completely shut this down. He will defend. He will shut down the all-in. ByuN, he's running out of steam. He's running out of units. Still rotating around. Looking for an opening. Cure, he spots a rotation. ByuN is still making 7 Marines at a time. He's still just rallying everything across the map. I mean, ByuN does have the supply lead, true. The army supply lead. The longer this goes on, the better it is for Cure. And Cure, he now has his own Stim. He's own bio army. ByuN Stims in. Oh, and he does get into the natural, not bad. But the tank does siege in time. Oof. Snipes the Liberator. Tanks moving in. ByuN stims forward, takes another tank volley to the face. Oh god, he's losing too much. Yeah, losing far too much. Boys are being pulled, and Cure, he will clean up what little is left. GG gets called, and Cure will take game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, the 2-base, 2-port all-in is a terrifying build in TBT. Typically, the way you want to respond to it, if you scout it, and a big part of it is scouting, is getting your own reactive second starport to try to keep up when it comes to Viking production. Or, of course, you can take a more defensive stance. But the problem here is that Cure was going for an all-in, and ByuN was rushing into a 3rd CC on location. Like, it was just so greedy there from ByuN. Just too much greed, and ByuN, he was caught with his pants down. He was punished for that greed, and Cure was able to break through and snowball from there. We saw that ByuN, he had potential with his like kind of reactive 2-base all-in when he was falling behind. He did have a large army, but Cure doing an amazing job at keeping up with the rotations and being in position and shutting ByuN down. GG. GG, well played. That leads us here into game number 2. We'll see if ByuN can recover or if Cure will snowball into a win and take the 2-0. Let's go. Let's find out as we load into a much larger map, as we load into Amygdala. And And spawning in the top right-hand corner of the Mixler, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is Push Up by Rebellion, ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0, 1 game away from claiming the entire thing, and he's going for the proxy. It is Cure. This makes sense. I mentioned at the start of game 1 that both these players are not afraid to cheese and to proxy each other at any time in this series, and now that Cure has a lead, now it's time to commit. He just needs one more win here. 2 SCVs, proxy 2x Reaper out of Cure. ByuN. Now this is a large map. It's a large map in the map pool. ByuN, he does not play greedy. Whew. Double gas opener. ByuN, he has the tools to defend. We spoke about this actually in game 1, if you remember, how Cure did go for a double gas opener, and Cure, he was safe against a proxy because of that. Same thing here. Now, I say safe, technically this isn't like a hard counter. This does mean that ByuN has the tools to defend, but doesn't mean that he does securely defend yet. So double gas means faster factory. What a faster factory means is faster Hellion production. Faster Hellion is a way to shut down the Reapers. So the win condition for ByuN is to buy time, minimize losses until he can make that Hellion. So it's all about protecting the factory, protecting the Hellion. Meanwhile, Cure, it's going to be on him to try to catch the first Reaper and potentially kill the building SCV and deny the factory. If he can deny the factory, that's game. That's game then and there. If he can deny this factory, factory is on the way. Here come the Reapers. So there's still a way for a Cure to get damage done with this. We'll see how this all comes together. But again, overall, I do favor ByuN here. If ByuN were to scout and he's checking with the Reaper, if he confirms this, he can pre-pull the boys. And if he can pre-pull the boys, then again, he should be safe and sound. He does check the gold location. He does check the southern proxy location first. He should then check the northern location. But this is a little bit of RNG, where he doesn't quite find the proxy yet. Does go for the CC on low ground. The factory will finish. Reapers are revealed. They delay the CC. Factory does complete. Now it's all about the Hellion. Hellion is on the way. From here, boys are being pulled. Diving on the Reaper. Reaper does escape. Second Reaper does arrive, and ByuN holds. ByuN, he does hold on. He has the high ground. He has the boys. The Hellion is almost done. Curie's going back in. He gets one more SCV. He does delay the command center by quite a bit, by quite a long time. True. And back at home, Curie's transitioning. Factory is on the way. Oh. Cure, he does get a Reaper. He forces a cancel on the low ground. Nice pickups here. Good damage. Cancels the CC. Killed how many? 2 SCVs and 1 Reaper. Now, ByuN won't die, but this is good damage from Cure nonetheless. And now Cure can now focus on expanding and building up to that next step. So the game will continue. And a lot of this will come down to how long it takes for ByuN to expand. Right, how long does it take for ByuN to take control of his natural and land his CC? We can see that Cure, because he has map control, CC on location. Command center is on location for Cure. So Cure is looking to take an economic lead. Hellions, they break out. Yeah, 3 Hellions, they have a lot of splash damage available to them. Cure, he has to split. Oh, nice snipe, gets 1 Hellion. Takes out 1 Hellion. That was a 1-to-1 trade. Better trade for Cure. Cure, likewise, he scouts the 1-1-1 follow-up. He does confirm tank production, sorry, cyclone production even. Into eventual tanks. Cure dips in. This is a bold move out of Cure, and yeah, he has to get the hell out of here. Does pull away. Oh, I do like this out of ByuN though. ByuN, he's going for the medevac. Despite having the tech lab on the starport, he's going for an early drop. And Cure at home, he is vulnerable. He is vulnerable. He's working his own tanks though. Working his own transition. Cure, he lands the racks. He delays. Lands the racks in time. Reapers, they bust into the main. SCV's gonna be going down. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 3 SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. Cure being so annoying. And he will just trade out these Reapers. He will trade them out, getting 2 more SCVs as well. Getting 3, 4, and I'm afraid to look at how many will go down in total. 10. 10 SCV kills, a delayed expansion with the cancel earlier, with the racks as well. Traded with the army. And Curie's ahead. Curie takes the lead. He is ahead right now. He's up in workers. He is up in saturation, up in economy. Behind this, he's working on a third CC already, getting further ahead. And right now, there's a lot of pressure on ByuN. There's so much pressure on ByuN to get some counter damage done. He has to do something, but the problem is that there's already a tank. There's already a tank and 2 Cyclones. And a Viking. And an SCV. Like, there's everything. Yeah, ByuN, he pokes in. He gets forced back. Sees the tank, and he knows he cannot break that. Behind this, ByuN, he does have his medevac, as we mentioned, and he is going for a drop across the map, and this has to get something here. He has to delay the CC, pick off some key units. Actually making more medevacs. Jesus. Okay, this is a Hail Mary play. This is very unorthodox. You would never, in a standard TVT, you would never see this many medevacs. We're going for a doom drop. We be dropping. Okay, let's go. It's going to be all or nothing. We'll see if he does hit. I mean, he can drop into the natural behind the mineral line. He can drop into the main base as well. He does have options with where he wants to go, as he's waiting for one more tank. And there we go. It's go time. Again, it's all or nothing for ByuN. He's all in on these three medevacs, on this doom drop. And Cure, he's looking very secure here at his natural, I would say. His main base is more exposed, true. The tanks are not quite in position. Cure, he doesn't see this coming. He does have a spotted Viking. And we'll see how quickly he reacts. As ByuN, he boosts in. Does boost in, he gets spotted. It does get spotted. Cure, he has to react. He does pull away. ByuN, he unloads. He will be the first to siege. Getting within range of the mineral line. But here come the Ravens, and Cure, he has disable. Oh no. Cure, he has the potential to just shut this down. Oh. Cure here extends. One Cyclone falls, massive pickoff. And here come the disables. He gets 1, he gets 2. Yeah, 2 tanks are disabled. He does pull the boys. He will completely clean this up. Medevacs do escape, but this is an expensive trade here for ByuN. He loses all 3 tanks. Likewise, Liberator into the natural, not bad. Getting what? Getting 10 SV kills in total. ByuN evening up the worker count, at the same time rallies into the third. More Liberators on the way. Dropping back into the main. Again, ByuN doing everything he can to just pull Cure apart. And Cure, he does abandon the third. Force the lift. Force the lift. Contained on 2 bases. So far, decent damage here by ByuN. I say decent. My biggest concern here, do you see what I see? No third command center. There is still no third base. So yes, he does delay the third base of Cure, but it's already done. It's already landing on location, and Cure, he will still enjoy a greater economy. ByuN going for his own third CC on location. This is okay, but again, he needs more damage, essentially. He needs more. So ByuN's not done. He's not done. He consolidates his forces. He has what? He has 3 tanks. He has 2 Liberators. He does have a slight marine advantage. The problem here is that Stim just finished for Cure. Cure, he has Stim. He has the greater bio army. Like, ByuN, the main bulk of his DPS here is going to be in the tanks. And the Liberators. Here we go. Liberators activated. Liberator does head towards the natural. ByuN moving in towards the third. ByuN is the first to siege. But once again, here come those disables, the Ravens. Disables 2 of the tanks, 3 tanks even. The Liberator gets dealt with by the turret. And ByuN, this is not good enough. He does evacuate, he does escape with the tanks. Oh no, he rallies in. Yeah, missed rally here out of ByuN. Tank goes down. ByuN, he has to make a final stand here. He saved 1 tank, and it's not going to be enough. Oh, sorry, saved 2 tanks even. But ByuN, he will lose everything, and Cure, he is snowballing out of control. Again, he had a stronger start to the game with this proxy. Remember, he killed 10 SCVs. He killed 10 SCVs at the start. He had a faster expansion, faster third, faster stim. And that drop into the main base from ByuN just wasn't good enough. Just did not trade well enough. He was hoping for some more crippling damage. He didn't get it. And every game, every match we've casted here tonight has gone to the ace match, but not this time. Not this time. GG gets called. Cure, he will break on through, and he will be the first and only to get a 2-0. GG. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Cure, he will claim the 2-0. He will advance on over ByuN into the next round. A very, very intense series here. And again, Cure, no fear whatsoever. After taking a lead in this series, after claiming game 1, he did snowball out of control with a proxy and with some cheese in game number 2. But in general, just hyper aggression. As a reminder, winding it back, what happened in game 1? 2-base 2-port all in. 2-base double starport all in out of Cure. ByuN was too greedy, ByuN was punished. Here in game 2, I would say this was more impressive, is that ByuN played safe. Remember, ByuN, he went double gas, he went for a faster factory, faster Hellion. Initially, he defended well. Initially, he deflected the Reapers, but Cure, he was persistent. He was persistent, and despite that, he still dealt more damage. He was able to get 10 SCV kills despite the opener of ByuN. That's the most impressive thing, is that in the early game, even though ByuN had the tools to defend, Cure, he still found crippling damage, and he forced ByuN to go for the Doom Drop. After all that early damage, after all that early game, ByuN, who was forced into the Doom Drop, and as we mentioned, he was able to somewhat get some SCV kills. He was able to get some damage, but not exactly what he was hoping for. Did need more, and with that, GG. GG, well played. With that, that wraps up our morning broadcast. As we switch our scenes over and catch up on the bracket itself, let's go from the top. From the top, we had Bunny versus Trigger. Trigger took down Bunny 2-1. Trigger was looking very, very solid in that first series. Very impressive play out of Trigger. SHIN took down Zoun 2-1. That was a very intense back and forth as well, which also had an explosive finale on Abyssal Reef, if you recall. That was a crazy way to end the series, so I do recommend it. Scrolling on down, we had Creator versus GuMiho. That might be the highlight of the... I mean, I say that might be the highlight. I was happy with all the matches, to be honest. Like, all the series, they all had something to enjoy, some more quirky builds, some impressive play. We didn't really have any stale standard games here, I'll be honest. Like, it was explosive, it was beautiful. GG. Again, GuMiho and Creator having some more unique builds in every game in that series. And then we had Cure versus ByuN, also very aggressive there by Cure, both in game 1 and in game 2. A very aggressive TVT, and Cure does take the 2-0. GG. GG, well played. With that, we have our top 4. We have our top 4 players. We have Trigger, SHIN, Creator, and Cure. And we'll be catching up with these matches tomorrow, as this is a 2-day event. The reasoning for this is because these semifinals matches, we're going to be casting both of them, of course. They're both best of 5s. Best of 5 semis into a best of 7 grand finals. So there's a lot of StarCraft, a lot of content, a lot of matches to come. And again, we'll be wrapping up with the LiuLi Cup at 36 tomorrow, in less than 24 hours. This time, same place, same channel tomorrow, day 2. So we got you covered there with those semis and the grand finals thereafter. Do look forward to it. Otherwise, later on tonight, we have another broadcast as well. There we go, switch on over here. We do have our weekly schedule. This is our morning Thursday cast. You can see on our schedule, you can see the Thursday broadcast is LiuLi Cup. You can see next to it the Friday broadcast, also LiuLi Cup. Again, that's tomorrow's day 2 broadcast, Friday morning. Meanwhile, this evening, it's going to be in how many hours time? 8 hours. In 8 hours time, we're going to be live with the Rex April Madness. That is a monthly tournament. We had the March Madness last month even. This month we have the Rex April Madness. It is a 3-week event. Last week we had Group A and Group B. This week we have Group C and Group D. And next week we have the playoffs. So it's a very, very long event. 3 weeks of StarCraft, 3 weeks of content. And tonight's broadcast is going to be featuring Group D. One moment, I'll let you know the players in the group. Un momento. Oh, let's actually, you know what? I can show you. I'll do you one better. I can show you the groups. Here we go. Bam. There we go. Okay, so again, over the past 3 weeks, we've been covering the group stage. We had Group A with Hero and Solar making it through. We had Group B with Clem and Classic. We had Group C with Bunny and Zoun. And this evening, in 8 hours time, we have Group D. Again, it is a live broadcast, of course. No replays tonight. It is going to be Max Pax, ByuN, Rogue, and Ryung. 2 Terrans, 1 Protoss, and 1 Zerg. It is a GSL format group. not round robin. So it is GSL format, which means that winners face off against winners, losers against losers, and then the decider match at the end. So we have 5 matches in total here. The first round is going to be best of 3s and then best of 5s. Pure best of 5s down here at the end of the broadcast. So it's going to be an intense one for sure. Coming into this, it's going to be a little bit hard to call. I'm leaning towards, you know, Max Pax and ByuN, but Rogue is also a beast. He's also been looking very strong as of late. And Ryung, he is a TVT sniper, so I would favor Ryung over ByuN in the TVT, to be honest. But how does Ryung fare against all the others? Different question. Different question. So best of luck to all the competitors here. Again, as you can see here, that is in 8 hours. 8 hours and 7 minutes. And it'll be here on the CranKy Ducklings. We'll be here. And you can see next week. Next week is the playoffs. So we're working through all the groups. And next week will be the round of 8 onwards. And likewise, 2-day event. Gee, these are best of 5s. This is round of 8, 4 best of 5s, and then best of 7 semifinals. Crazy format, crazy format. Aye. But this is also a 2-day event. This is day 1 is the quarterfinals, and day 2 will be semis and finals. So playoffs are also going to be 2 days. And again, it takes an entire month to get through as well. So do tune into this if you're interested. Or I know that this is a bad time for the Americas region. So if you're in Latino America or North America, the start time of this event is not ideal. I believe it's like early morning. So if you can't watch live, check out the VODs. Check out the VOD content instead. Again, exclamation mark socials in the chat, and you'll get a link to our social medias. We have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. All things CranKy Ducklings. We do upload VODs on a daily basis over on YouTube, so there's plenty of content to indulge in, plenty of content to enjoy, all on YouTube. We got games every day of the week. Yes, every day, and most of the time 2 days a week. As you can see with our schedule here, 2 casts a day every single day, except for Friday. Friday we have a half a day off. Thank God. we have half a day off on Friday, but every other day 2 casts a day, non-stop StarCraft here on the CranKy Ducklings. Again, we cast more StarCraft than any other channel out there, so we have the quantity and we have a little bit of the quality as well. Let's go, baby. Let's go. So again, check out our YouTube if you want to, or if you are interested in the VODs, if you want to enjoy some of the StarCraft. If you can't watch it live, check it out on YouTube. Just catching up. It's the unmovable object versus the unstoppable object. Ah, let's go. It's catching up. Catching up. But yeah, with that, thanks for watching. Thank you for the support. We do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And again, over the weekend, we do have some Brazilian StarCraft, some more Korean StarCraft as well. We have Fire Grow Cup towards the end of Sunday into Monday. I will say that's coming into May. Ideally, we do have a little bit of a... I want a leaner broadcast in May so we can have somewhat of a break, but at the same time, I'm getting more. There's so much more to cast. There's just, we're drowning in StarCraft, man. We're drowning in StarCraft. As I mentioned before, we're like turning down events because we don't have room in our schedule, which means whenever we turn down an event, they're like, oh, do you want the replays to cast it later? It's like, sure. It's like, sure, okay, we'll cast the replays, I guess, which means we stack our schedule even more. So yeah, so it's a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft. We'll catch up eventually, and we'll have a break, you know, maybe in May, maybe. Otherwise, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. Again, we'll be back in 8 hours or in 24 hours with the conclusion of LiuLi Cup, so do check that out next time. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for support. We're going to be heading off. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. We'll see who is live at the moment, who is live, and who can we send everyone over to. Let's have a look. Pig is playing Battle Aces. Jaime is playing Fortnite. Jaime. What else do we have? Livy B is playing StarCraft for the first time in a long time. We have Bomioja laddering as well. Okay. Cool. Give some love to Bomioja. I see Krista. I see Cosmos as well. Patches. A lot of people streaming. Shelby is back. Shelby, crazy. We'll find someone to raid. Otherwise, thanks for watching, thanks for the support, and we'll see you guys later on tonight or tomorrow for some more StarCraft action. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Ciao, baby, ciao. See you next time.